so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked.
That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
Holy shit, man. We are live and it's finally about that fucking time. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 199.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined by a number of absolute pigs and a queen and a goddess. And as normal, my good friend Tanner. Tanner, how are you doing today? How excited are you for this special edition Warzone Roundtable Caldera edition, man? How are you feeling about it?
That was quite the intro. Good. Feeling good. I'm excited to sit back and listen to these people talk. Tell us what and tell us what they think. Yeah.
And tell us what they think. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That's interesting you say that, because other people's opinions actually don't matter, because I'm correct and that's all that matters. But
got it.
For the benefit of our listeners, we're going to invite some new perspectives today. So for those of you listening, we've done a couple of roundtables before. We've had a variety of guests on these roundtables. I think we've done 3, if I'm not mistaken, prior to this. At
3
least
or
2.
4 or something like that.
Yeah, whatever, a number. Some guests today, this afternoon, are going to be returning faces, unfortunately for many of you, and some are going to be new frogs. And we have tried to really hit each possible identity and representation amongst the Warzone community at large. What we're trying to do here is much like perhaps the Senate of the United States of America. Now, we have some Canadians here.
Got it.
They probably don't know what that is. They don't know what democracy is. They live in a totalitarian Marxist dictatorship, and that's unfortunate for them. But here, we have a more capitalist American ethos, and that's why we have tried to get representative from all walks of Warzone life today. And to that end, we're going to start with some introductions. I want you to tell us who you are, what your overall KD is in Warzone, if you have it available, what your Caldera KD is in Warzone, obviously. And then also you can plug a stream, a social media, whatever the fuck, and really say anything else you want, but just make it introductory in nature. And if you're nervous, I want you to relax, take a deep breath, and keep in mind that literally thousands of people will listen to this. And many are here live right now. If you're nervous, just remember, there will be, I'm not kidding, upward of 4,000 people judging you in a recorded fashion, by the way. They can rewind and listen to you say the dumb shit you just said to their heart's content on any number of times. So if you're nervous, just relax and keep that in mind. Thousands of people listening. Lag, why don't we start with you? Tell us about yourself, little bud.
What's up? I'm Lag. I'm team captain always.
Don't say that. We're off to a terrible start already. Got it.
My Warzone overall KD is 2.5. And my Caldera, I have no idea.
That website isn't working for you?
No, it says I got a link.
Yeah, the API has been dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can usually find his, and I couldn't even find his.
Let's add the input method as well. What input are we using in Warzone?
Aim assist.
Aim assist, okay. Controller, got it. Yes.
Controller.
Okay. Oh, and platform. PC or console?
PC.
Okay, cool. All right. Lag, any plugs?
Go follow me at Lag Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch.
Got it. All right, Cam. Tell us about yourself, bud.
So Cam Wilkes, Warzone KD is 2.14, and Caldera I think is 3.
Okay. Higher.
Jesus.
Controller on PC.
Okay.
And yeah, Cam Wilkes on Twitch, YouTube. Really trying to push the YouTube stuff at the moment.
YouTube, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to maximize every single platform. You know, that's the way.
I was just making fun of how you say it. I agree. Yeah, YouTube is a good place to go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you're from Oxfordshire, the county of Oxfordshire. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Cam. Cope, before you say a goddamn word, what the fuck is that on your chest?
This is the best streamer on Twitch.tv.
Don't say that. Who's that? What streamer are you lying about being the best?
Landmark. He's the best.
Landmark.
I'm not lying.
What does he play?
Tarkov in the Norvinsk
region.
region.
What level are you on Tarkov this wipe?
I've played 2 raids and probably still higher than you, Raz.
Don't say that. And that's very interesting. Real Tarkov fan, by the way. All right, Cope, tell us about yourself, buddy.
Cope Cowboy. If you don't know who I am, figure it the fuck out.
Got it.
Whoa.
My overall KD is a 1.88 and my Caldera is a 2.08. I'm on KBAM on PC, obviously.
The claw.
He's got the claw.
You're not KBAM.
Yeah,
You're
that's calm down there.
Well, I'm better than you with it, so it's okay.
On the claw, yeah, sure.
He's clam, actually. Claw and mouse. He's a claw and mouse
really?
player.
He's a clam.
That works, yeah.
But it's he doesn't get aim assist. He has to aim with a mouse. That's what matters.
He has his whole arm to aim.
I've never misclicked a file. All right, thank you, Copious. Next, Mullet. Tell us about yourself, buddy.
I'm Mullet, aka Jimbo. I'm just a guy that likes to play video games.
Got it. Okay, do you know your Warzone KD?
Yeah, I think it's like a 1.2, and then on Caldera, I think it's 1.3.
Okay.
Pretty shitty.
Got it. And then what input method and what platform?
Keyboard and mouse on PC.
Okay. And anything you want to plug? A broadcast, a Twitter feed, an Instagram, and OnlyFans?
Don't have any of it.
P-Hub.
Unlike most of the people here, you're actually gainfully employed. Is that correct?
Correct. I have a job.
Yes. Okay. So that's
crazy.
That explains that
for you.
For sure. Yeah. So, okay. Next, L.
Lavoxino.
Change it.
I think overall was like a 2.35. My Caldera is a 2.58.
Okay.
And I'm aim assist abuser rat.
On PC, is that correct?
On PC, yes.
Okay. Any plugs?
And just so everyone remembers, hold on. L is the one that we did Raz did a whole episode with about him switching from controller to K-Man.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice what he said for his input method there? Yeah.
I'm a god on both. I'm a god on mouse and key. I'm a god on controller.
Well, yeah.
I don't care what you play. That's funny to look back on.
We'll perhaps get into that.
On that app's being deleted, by the way. So
give us a plug, L, if you have one.
Yeah. Twitch.tv, it's Lavoxino, Lavox, ENO.
Got it. Thank you, L. All right, next, and you guys need to shut the fuck up for this one because we finally have a worthy guest on this podcast. Maybe for the first time ever. This is a monumental occasion in the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast history. This is our first ever female guest on the show. We couldn't be more excited. We're pigs, and it's taken us 199 episodes. But we are evolving, we are learning, we're growing, we're progressing, as they say. And we finally have a goddess on the program. Longtime listener, friend of the pod, the artist formerly known as Leia. Tell us about yourself, please.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I am Praying Mantis Princess. My overall KD is 0.72, and then let me check. My Caldera KD is 0.86.
Okay.
I started playing on a PlayStation 4 back when the pandemic started, and I switched about 6 to 7 months ago to a PC controller, Astro C40 controller. So like a modded controller that has the paddles in the back. Let's see. I am praying underscore mantis underscore princess on Twitch and Instagram. And then also I do have a full-time job. I'm an architect during the day, and I play Call of Duty all night long, demon hours, and then wake up and try and do architecture. So
on demon time. Fantastic. Yes. Fantastic. Well, thank you for being with us. And by the way, listeners and you pieces of shit guests, did you notice that Leia said, thank you for having me on because she has manners and you're all pigs. So you're welcome, Leia. And I appreciate you having a modicum of courtesy and gratitude.
My pleasure.
Of course. And it's excuse me, it is our pleasure. And thank you for being here. And you're all pigs and you should take notes. Tanner, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Razinon. My KD is 0.3. I'm one of the worst dog shit players. Oh,
stop. Stop it. Tanner, stop it.
My name is Tanner, Dropshot. Play on KBAM, of course. You guys know. All-time Warzone KD is 2.49. Caldera is 2.77.
Okay.
That's where I'm hanging at.
Got it. And the people can find you at patreon.com/thedropshot. Is that correct?
That's the only place, yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's good to hear.
That's the only social media I have, so you'll have to go there.
That's the only one that matters for sure, yeah. And then last, Razinon, tell us about yourself. Hi, my name's Razinon. My name's Casey, also known as Razinon. What were the questions I asked you guys? Okay,
Holy shit, man.
My overall KD is a 1.52. Which has just been skyrocketing because I'm the hashtag team captain. Insert the GIF here, please. Razinon won the game after I solo squad wiped. Tanner died because he's shit. I'm the team captain. Overall KD is a 1.52, but that is because I was dragged down for most of my Warzone career by the absolute apes that I play with. And that is reflected in my Caldera KD, which is in fact a 1.93 and still fucking skyrocketing, dude. Just blasting upward. So that's super interesting. I play on a demonic machine, a PC, right? An absolute... It used to be 2 years ago it was a demonic. It's fine now. But I play on a PC with a keyboard and also a mouse. You can find me at thedropshot.com and any link there. You can find me most, though, at !donate in the chat. If commands worked on this dog shit website that is Twitch.
Don't blame Twitch. That is all you.
Website.
All you, buddy.
It might be just Nightbot. I don't know what it is, but I hate it. Anyways, doesn't matter. So there are the introductions. Okay, so now that is over and done with, I want to start with a point that I didn't think to do until right now, because there was an interesting trend that I noticed in these introductions. And 8 out of 8 people's Caldera KD is higher than their lifetime KD. Some of the people here, such as myself, have had a precipitous, sharp incline in KD since Caldera came out. Some of us had some of a climb. But still, everyone's KD is higher on Caldera than their overall Warzone KD. Does anyone have any theories on why this might be? Because that is pretty remarkable, I think. But maybe it isn't remarkable. I'm not sure.
I have some ideas. I think a lot of it is learning the engine and understanding, like, we understand how to move in this map. Whereas when we first came on to Verdansk, we didn't understand, like, the slide cancel. We didn't understand the stimming. We didn't understand how quickly the gas was going to come. Now we have more of a sense of that, and we know what things to look for and what to avoid. And then also all of us, like, as we've worked through Verdansk, has optimized our settings, optimized our equipment, have probably upgraded in order to have better settings where other people probably haven't. And those are my 2 points.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that for sure.
Yeah, because obviously we've all started on Verdansk and we've grown as BR players, and obviously the KD on Verdansk is obviously not going to be reflected as much because you spent a lot more time. So it's going to, mine in Verdansk went up. It went up quite a lot from when I first started playing Verdansk to when I finished playing Verdansk, but it was very slow. But now, you know, it's like I'm nearly I'm like 0.75 higher than I was on Verdansk. And I think it's just BR knowledge. You know, I played a bit of BRs before, but not to the extent that I played Warzone.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's, for me, that's definitely, I think, the biggest piece of this equation, and why my Caldera KD is so much higher is because, this is my first like BR that I played more than 5 matches of. So when I started in Verdansk, I was just terrible. And like Leia said too, just being unfamiliar with, not only BR kind of gameplay in general, but also Warzone specific strategies, like when to rotate in, how to rotate in, what vehicles to use, trophying vehicles, all that dumb little shit that really does add up and contribute to a higher KD and just more success in general. Whether you constitute a high KD as successful or win percentage is successful, which Tanner wouldn't. Tanner's allergic to winning, or whatever
I don't care about winning.
May
yeah,
be.
It doesn't matter.
Got it. Yeah. So, yeah.
I actually think on. Go on now.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, most of us here, play like either play video games normal amount or just play Call of Duty in general way more than the average person too. So that could have a contributing factor to it.
I think on this map as well, the way this map plays, it actually benefits the player that's more knowledgeable about his positioning and everything, where you are on the map. If you're in a better position, you're usually going to win the gunfight on this map just because of the verticality and everything. I think that's a big factor in this.
I was going to say,
yeah, even if you're the worst player, but you got that height advantage, that's going to really help you out.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Lag. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the verticality is on this map, like positioning. Once you got high ground, it's pretty hard to lose a gunfight unless like you're wide open. But yeah, this map is just plays a lot different.
Subject.
Yeah,
plays a lot different, and like I said, if you have good gun skills, you're gonna win.
Yeah. I think Caldera rewards smart positioning more than Verdansk did. And I think there are arguments you can make on both sides of that, because you could argue finding the optimal like building to be in, and then also it's like in Verdansk there's a real argument sometimes, depending on the circle, where the other teams are, which building is best. Sure, there's one argument, but then also once you decide whatever that building is it better to be like second story but inside or on the roof? That depends. So like there is you definitely did get rewarded for like good positioning in Verdansk, but I think that is even more pronounced in Caldera because it is so extremely vertical that if your positioning is bad, you can't really bail yourself out like you often could in Verdansk. If you get outpositioned in Caldera, you're usually just fucked and it doesn't matter how good you are. Like if you're in the pit in Caldera, I don't care how good you are. Like I could be shooting at like fucking Huskers if he isn't sniping, and I'll probably kill him if he's in the pit and I'm above him. You know.
Where's the pit? Tell me where the pit is.
The pit is under, it's like southeast of Fields. Do you know where the buy station is?
It's under the big bridge.
Do you know where that wooden bridge that looks like it's in like an Indiana Jones movie, and there's a buy station in the middle sometimes?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So imagine being under that. Yeah, that's the pit. And if you're on that level of the bridge, you're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think you die way.
Oh, go ahead, Cam. Sorry.
Sorry. If I feel on this map as well, more time. If you die, it's usually because you put yourself in a bad position. Whereas on Verdansk, you'd seem to die to like more cheesy stuff. You know, there's a lot of you know, you wouldn't see a guy in the corner because he's wearing a rose skin or whatever. On this, it's usually because if you put yourself in a bad position, that's just down to your gameplay, and that's usually what costs you on this map.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think I've died to Claymores or Bouncing Betty at all this map.
I haven't died to it. I haven't even taken damage from a Claymore.
I haven't died to a lethal other than a C4. I swear to God, I don't think I've died to a Semtex Thermite.
Tanner, we went against a team that had like 8 claymores on the stairs.
They were prox mines. Yeah,
or prox mines.
Yeah, that was.
Do you remember that game? Yeah.
Yes, that was the one time.
Rare now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only been hit by a prox mine in one game, and in that game, I was hit by 13
at one time.
Yeah, that was insane. That was an insane lunatic team. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So, okay. So Leia's written down, because Leia is, again, a good, decent person, and she sent a litany of topics that we could cover that she would like to discuss, and we're going to get into some of those. For sure. Maybe all of them. We'll fucking see. But since I have her thoughts and no one else's, does anyone have some burning topic they would like to discuss? Because we're definitely going to talk about Caldera versus Verdansk. We're going to talk about the loadout change. Maybe we're going to talk about skill-based hit reg if that's something that someone really wants to talk about. We could do that as well. But with those things in mind, any burning desire to cover, to throw something out there to the round table?
Skill-based hit reg is the only one for me, so.
TTK, and whether, I always thought that Iron Trials was either going to be the basis for how the game was going to be played on this map, or it was going to be, a new permanent mode that would always be in. All they was testing out the TTK on Iron Trials and bringing it to normal BR. That's something I would like to go over for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Iron Trials. When Tanner and I had been talking about it, and it was kind of in the zeitgeist, we thought I think principally what we thought was this was a precursor to whatever Warzone ranked mode they want to kind of implement or introduce. And I think that still could be true, and they just haven't put out the ranked mode yet. And I think that's still pretty likely, because if they were going to do a ranked mode, they were definitely going to release Ricochet first, and they were going to iron out Ricochet first. And they haven't finished ironing out Ricochet yet, obviously. People are dying to aim boats on top of flying cars as we speak. So they haven't ironed Ricochet out yet. But once they do, I think then we can maybe see... I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more rumblings or even the introduction of a ranked mode, and maybe that would have Iron Trials TTK. But I'm not sure, because Tanner had also brought up the point that it would be weird to have regular BR be wildly different TTK and like total experience than Iron Trials. So I don't really know.
What do you guys think is like the perfect TTK for this game? Was it how it is? Is it Iron Trials, or is it in between those two? I would say in between, like perfect middle.
Iron Trials.
I think Iron Trials would play perfectly on this map, because there's so much open space. It actually gives you a chance to reposition and get in somewhere that you can defend yourself. Whereas right now, if you get caught in the open, you're dead. You're dead. It's just like there's no outplay potential in that, and there's so much open space on this map.
What was the Iron Trials total health with full plates?
400.
400 with full plates, and then in regular it's 250, right?
Yeah, so it's like your base health, I think, was 250 and then 50 per plate.
Yes. Okay.
Having a higher TTK though, it's a double-edged sword, because you can't. It's better because you can outmaneuver people, like whatever. But you can't make these pushes that we usually do against like 1v3 people, because you can't down someone that quick, turn to the other guy, down him, turn to the other guy, down him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that plays the same for everyone, though. Everyone's going to be in the same position, and you've got to work around that. I found in Iron Trials, I had a lot of fun playing Iron Trials, and my experiences in that, I didn't really die to a lot of cheesy stuff. It was usually a case of me putting myself in a bad position.
Yeah.
I think with that too, lethals become a little bit more important, almost like in Halo, where like if you're going against two people, you need to throw your lethal at one of them and then fight the other one and then finish the other one. And I found that really a good strategy in Iron Trials.
So you liked Iron Trials?
I did.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. The only thing with Iron Trials is it would be unfortunate, especially on this map, to gimp snipers that hard. because this map is so much more open that if I can't get, I mean, I don't know. It's just like snipers were not popular in Iron Trials, even after they had buffed them a little more than they were initially. So it would suck because you would probably see almost no people sniping in Iron Trials. And if it was a ranked mode, I would venture to say no one would really snipe, like, ever. Especially at the higher elo, because you would rather just have like a Bren or something. And that would be unfortunate.
Weird though,
but yeah.
I've seen less snipers. I've seen less snipers on this map than Verdansk, which is really weird. This map is built for snipers.
It is weird. Yeah. Go ahead, Lag.
It's because of flinch. The snipers, now you get hit, you flinch so much that you can't just keep aiming down sight and down someone while you're getting beamed. That's why you're seeing less snipers. The Bren is better at range. From 200 meters, you're getting it beamed by a Bren.
And doesn't have that flinch. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. I think there's something to that for sure. So, okay. All right, L, skill-based hit reg. You think there is skill-based hit registration. Tell us about that. Before we start, actually, does anyone think there exists skill-based hit registration?
I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't.
Haven't died to it yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. There's absolutely no proof for it.
Yeah.
Really.
I can't say anything.
I personally think that would be very, very intricate to program in. So chances are that is not in the game. If they can't figure out an anti-cheat, they are not figuring that out.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Activision or like Raven or one of those companies, they've bought the patent for it to be in the game, correct?
They filed
owning
the
a patent and actually rolling something out are two completely different things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually skill-based hit reg or the tick rate and the servers or the hit reg on this game, on this map in particular, is just slightly off.
You also play on high ping a lot, though, don't you, Cam?
Sometimes, yeah, but I notice it more when I play on my host. So, like, there'll be times when I'm in the gulag and I'll be shooting someone. I'll shoot first, and I don't miss a single shot, and I continuously hold down the trigger on them. And then I watch the kill cam back, and it's like the health goes down in like, so it'll go down a little bit, and then it's like I've stopped shooting them, and then it'll go down a bit more or whatever. And I'm just like, well, how have I lost the gunfight? I shoot first, I don't miss a shot. I'm always aiming for sort of chest to headshot. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't get that. Sometimes you lose gunfights when you're the first person to see them and you shoot first, and then other times it's you kill him instantly. I don't understand that. It seems a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah, is this specific to Caldera in your experience?
I think it happens. I've noticed it more in the gulag.
I agree with Cam. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I have noticed it probably, I don't know, 3-4 times in the gulag, because it's a 1v1. You have the exact same health, the exact same gun. You shoot first and don't miss, and all of a sudden you're just fucking deleted. And it's like, then the guy's a level fucking like 50. It's like, okay, well, how does that work? It just doesn't make sense.
So you think it is more likely to be skill-based hit reg than just dogshit servers?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be either or.
Yeah, it could be either or, but
I wouldn't put it past them to put skill-based hit reg in the game, because, you know, they put skill-based matchmaking in. What's to stop them from doing that as well? But you never know with these things.
El, what's your position?
You can't prove it as of now. I mean, like you were saying on the other podcast, maybe if one of the Ace or Drifter does some science bullshit on it. But so far, there's no proof of it, but just my experiences believe it's there. I'll, like everyone said, shoot a guy, won't miss, watch the kill cam. This guy's pinning Picasso on me, just left, right, above me, just hit fire all around me, and he's still getting hit markers and killing me.
So have any of you who believe this is a thing ever gotten hit reg you shouldn't have gotten on someone who is better than you are?
Don't think so.
I've gotten
like
I've kind of experienced it like once or twice. I just blamed it on aim assist though, so I'm not sure.
I've experienced delayed like hit markers. You know, like you'll stop shooting and then you'll turn away and then you'll get a hit marker. I've experienced that more so with the well gun.
I think it's just the servers. Servers, or something wrong with the servers. Like I've noticed, I've stopped shooting, and I would get a hit marker right after I stopped shooting. So maybe the bullet velocity or something, or the servers. I've
experienced that too,
but I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm with Mullet here. It's never been proven, and it sounds skill-based matchmaking. When you think about it, is an easy system to implement. They take your average, your KD, your just different stats that they already pull all the time, and just put you in certain lobbies for that. Like adding in the ability to actually have skill-based hit reg would be a crazy system for them to code in. And yeah, if it was implemented, it would probably be so messed up that we would see shit daily that would prove that it exists, because like hit reg would just be horrendous. Like you'd be not even looking at the person at all and be getting hit markers or something. So
I see shit daily.
But also, like Chris is reminding everyone, like True Game Data did a video on this, and we talked about it on the podcast about how terrible the kill cams are. Terrible. And he actually had a video of him killing another streamer, and he showed a side-by-side, frame-by-frame comparison of what his game looked like when he got the kill and what that dude's kill cam looked like. And they were wildly different.
Yeah.
And it looked like so dog shit in the kill cam. So also basing your experience of I just got skill-based hit reg on a kill cam is an even further compounding variable. And I think, again, like I said last week or last episode or whatever, I think it's possible, but it's so hard to prove. And I think you seeing a kill cam where you got fucking lag comped, or you saw just a glitchy dog shit kill cam, or even the kill cam was perfectly accurate, but we're playing on 12-tick servers with 150 people, doesn't say much. And it's a very far leap to go from that looked weird to they got better hit reg on me because I'm a higher skill than them. I think that's
we'll bash our heads on this argument all day.
Yeah,
never come to a conclusion.
There's not much else to say.
We'll never come to a conclusion. I just like to say I think it is something that is in the game. We'll never figure it out, but I think it is there.
I definitely lean more towards the server side of things rather than the skill-based hit reg, because I know that the servers are terrible. Yeah, they are really terrible servers, and you'd expect a game of this caliber to have good servers. Do you know what I mean? They have a lot of money. Maybe this is something that Xbox might fix now, or Microsoft might fix now that they've. That would be that would be something good, and then we can not have to worry about the server tick rate.
Yeah, Mullet, what were you gonna say?
The amount of calculations when you have 150 people in a lobby, and they're gonna have to have multiplier effects depending on who's engaging who, and then randomly changing hitbox sizes or the actual registration of bullets. Do you know how much computational power you would have to have for every lobby that's going on in Warzone for this to be a thing?
Yeah, and implying that Activision is capable of doing something that sophisticated when they can't even patch their game.
I think it's a little far-fetched.
I think there's something
else that gives me the feeling that it is server related is there'll be times when you'll slide cancel past someone, they have their back to you, and then they're still either meleeing you or shooting you, but they've got their on your screen, they have their back to you, and it's like you watch the kill cam and they were facing you. That just shows how bad the servers are.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, let's move on here, because L's kind of right. There's not much else to really say on this. I think we've exhausted this topic. Well, actually, before we move on, any other burning desires or questions? We've got plenty, but if you wanted to bring something to the table like I asked each and every one of you, now is the time.
You didn't.
The Ricochet thing. The whole Ricochet thing. There was I sent a video into the little group chat, and it was actually a swag video, and he had some clips of cheaters shooting but not getting, they were getting hit markers, but it wasn't actually doing any damage to the players, and they were just so confused why they weren't killing these people when they were blatantly cheating, and then they were getting killed. And it was like, well, maybe that is Ricochet doing something.
I think it is. Yeah.
He didn't do anything yesterday.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think it must be a thing of if it's obviously certain softwares it's picking up on and certain softwares it's not picking up on.
That's Ricochet and Activision being a troll. They could just either shadow ban them or just ban them. Like, why are they doing that?
Yeah, here's a question, because we covered that in our last episode, that swag video. And I was like, I said what Elle just said, like, why not just ban them? You guys are being childish. Do you think there is some merit? Do you think do any of you think it is better for them to like troll and give cheaters bullets no damage? Does anyone think that that's a better way to combat cheaters than just outright banning them?
No, of course not. That's so fucking stupid.
Silly.
I do. If they're still using the cheat software and it's like a new one they just identified, so that Ricochet and Activision servers can look at what's actually going on, letting those players still be in the game, clicking and trying to like still shit on the kids, just giving Activision more information to try to combat them in the future
without ruining other players' experience.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fair.
Somebody said that in chat when we were talking about this on the last ep, Raz. I think it was maybe Bango or somebody, but they said that same thing. Like, that actually makes a lot of sense. Then they can get more info on basically how these cheat softwares work, probably, if the person's in there cheating but not actually doing anything to kill anyone, you know? It'll just give them more info to stop those type of cheats in the future.
Like headshot percentage and all that shit.
Leia, go ahead.
Oh, I like that, but I also think like their end goal is monetary. So if they detect a software that they're not 100% sure is cheating, they don't want to outright ban that person because they still want to make money off of that person. So they want to make sure that this is an actual cheat.
That's fair too. I think there's absolutely something to that. They don't. Yeah, they don't want to just ban people because they're losing a bundle purchaser, potential bundle purchaser.
Yeah, and there's no reason to think that works less than like just automatically banning people. They were doing ban waves during Verdansk all the time, and it was just nonstop cheaters. So it's like, just because you're banning accounts, it really doesn't mean anything. That's why I'm like seriously thinking this may actually do more to combat cheaters than just straight up banning them. Then they're just back in the game 3 minutes later on a different account anyways.
Yeah.
It wastes more of their time, essentially.
Yeah. Cope?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't know why it's so fucking hard. Every time there's a new account made, and the guy plays 5 minutes in a game, has 10 kills and 80% headshot rate, insta ban, see ya, fuck off, bye. It's not that hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Set it up.
So pissed.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's just so easy, dude. Like, you have an anti-cheat. Like, make it happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not difficult.
My whole argument was, if that's implemented into the game and that's a thing that can be implemented into the game, that can be skill-based, hit reg, skill-based, hit marker reg, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's just
already
funny to
implemented into the game at this point.
It's funny to see these hackers raging though when they're not being able to kill people on their screen. That's that's comedy. That is, and do it as much as you want. Give me 150 cheaters in my lobby that can't kill me, and let me kill them all. You know,
that would be fun.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's fucking insane. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I think Cope though, like if they're getting 80% headshot, just ban them automatically. That would be good. They should do that. I think the reason that wouldn't do as much as you perhaps think it would though is because engine owning would be like, okay, well, if you run your script for 80% headshot, they're gonna ban you. So just make yourself instead 60% like upper or like neck multiplier instead. And then
yeah, but even someone with a 50% headshot rate on a brand new account that's level 5, I mean, it just doesn't happen unless you're cheating.
Yeah,
it doesn't stop the other 50 guys walling though that you don't even know are walling.
Yeah, that's another question I would really like to talk about. How do we get Activision to fucking ban wallers? Because I think they are the number one, way bigger of a problem than aimbots are. Because aimbots are obvious and easy, and everyone's going to report you, and something will happen to you in, I mean, a couple weeks as Activision, but still something will happen to you. But I genuinely believe there are people who have been playing Warzone since day one, never boating, walling only, and have not been banned or shadow banned once. I believe thousands of these players exist. They're a scourge because they're undetectable, and that advantage is still insane. And it makes me so mad, and I don't know what they need to do to figure it out and ban these people, because I thought when we were going to get Ricochet sniffing kernels, they would sniff the walling program and then be able to ban them. But since they're doing all this damage clamping, you know, cheaters don't do damage shit, then, and since there are still plenty of cheaters, although fewer, and I think Ricochet is working and it's working well, it's just not perfect. But still, it makes me wonder, has Ricochet done anything to combat wallers? Because we'll never know. I don't know if there are fewer wallers now. I know that there are fewer people aimbotting now. I die to aimbots way less often than I did prior to Ricochet. So Ricochet is helping against people who aimbot. Do you guys think it is helping against people who wall hack? And wall hacking, for those of you, by the way, quickly, for those of you listening, when I say boat, it's aimbot, it's aimbot. It means you have a cheat where your gun doesn't miss, so it'll automatically aim at other people. You hold down the trigger, every single bullet hits. Aimbot, that's what that is.
Aim assist.
People say boat. It's not aim assist, L. People say boating sometimes, that's what I mean. But walling means it's short for wall hacking. It's basically it's a cheat where every single other player in the entire game, you have an outline of their character even through walls. So if someone's ghosted with dead silence and they're in the building next to you and you wouldn't otherwise know that they are there, because you're cheating, you still have the outline even though you shouldn't know they're there. That's what walling is. So anyway, there's the question. Do you think Ricochet has helped with walling? What are your guys' thoughts?
I would have thought so. Much.
I can 100% say with 100% certainty that it is, because I've known people.
And you got banned?
No, because I had people that I thought were suspect whose accounts are now banned.
Whoa, like streamers?
Yeah.
Or like friends?
Not streamers, just like regular like Xbox players or something. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
Xbox
I thought were sus, and I stopped playing with them because I thought they're like, I would see them like pinging stuff weird, and I'd be like, it was before the other thing came out, and I was like, I'm not playing with them anymore. And then now their accounts are banned and they don't play anymore.
That's scandalous.
Were they on console?
Right when Ricochet came out. I think they were on console and then they switched to PC, and now that I know for sure that their accounts are banned. I'm not going to say who, but yeah.
That's scandalous.
Are they in the Discord?
Is that why Bjorn hasn't been playing?
No, they're not Dropshot people, no.
Yeah, report these people to the authorities if you suspect
Ricochet
them,
came out, we haven't heard
their
of Bjorn.
accounts are gone. They're not even on my friends list anymore. I think they're completely
Yeah,
gone.
I was just joking. I meant if they were in our Discord.
Yeah.
It was just a joke. Okay, Lag was going to say something. Go ahead, buddy.
I haven't noticed much wallers, much people tracking. I've maybe seen one or two. But before Caldera, I know of someone that I think was walling and hasn't gone on the game since.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
I think as well with the map being...
What was that?
I think with they're in the Discord. I think as well with the map being so much more open, it's hard to detect whether you've been live pinged or someone's seen you, because you can't tell most of the time unless you know for certainty that they didn't see you and you had deady popped and you're running through a building. That's the other thing. There's not as many buildings, so you just, you know. And as well, you know, there's obviously this permanent UAV thing that you can get with these cheats that gives you another UAV. So they potentially could not be walling, but they've got this UAV up that tells them where you are anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think walling is also less of a problem just because of the map. That's not something I've really thought about. And walling is still a huge advantage on Caldera, don't get me wrong, but less so than it would be in Verdansk. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But also with all the money you have in Caldera, you get a UAV all the time going up. So
and big game bounties too.
Yeah.
So even if you're ghosted, you're not safe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone's also running combat scout, so if you shoot someone in a building, you know exactly where they are anyways.
Yeah.
Just wall
I don't know.
them.
I think this is the perfect, like, not perfect, because I'm still running into cheaters, but 5 cheaters, 6 cheaters, 10 cheaters in one day on Verdansk compared to 4 or 5 in a week now. So
It's so much better. It's so much better than it was.
I'll take that. I'm fine with it.
We also travel now.
You know, as well, I don't...
We'll get into it.
I can always see people in this game, yeah, but I got killed the other day and I was like, yo, I didn't even see this guy. And I watched the kill cam. It's because he aimbotted me from the other side of the map. That's why I never saw him. It's like, cool.
Mullet, what were you going to say, bud?
I was just going to say, do you think the lack of cheaters is why Caldera KDs are higher?
Ooh.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a spicy
probably.
red hot take, dude. It's actually not. It's the least hot take ever, but I think you're right. I didn't think about that.
That's
I didn't
a
think
super
about that
point.
at all, but you're probably right. Yeah, everyone's KD who is legit is higher because there are fewer cheaters fucking their ass. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
too.
you're not just getting crushed off rip or out of the sky coming back from Gulag. Like, you can actually get some kills. So you're not getting dragged down with this outlier, like, low numbers.
True. It's a good point.
You know what it's like as well? When you get killed by a cheater or something, it tilts you over the edge and then you just start playing worse because you're pissed because you've been getting killed by cheaters. So it in turn, you are having a better experience in turn, which makes you play the game better because you're actually having fun.
Yeah, that's also true too, for sure. All right, so we're going to get into the big question of the day, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll get into some of Leia's topics, some of Tanner's topics, and if anyone else has any topics. If you did, you weren't passionate enough about it because you would have brought it up by now, and that's fine. But let's get into the big question of the day. Okay, and we're going to do this a little different. Okay, I'm going to ask each and every one of you.
Oh, no.
Which map is better, Caldera or Verdansk? So you can say one of those two, or you like them both, or you dislike them both, but they're about equal to you. Lag, which map is better?
Caldera's growing on me right now. It still needs, I think, improvement. There's a lot of bushes, a lot of mountains. Peak, it's terrible when you try to push a team up there because there's only a couple points you can go up. But I'm starting to like it more. You just gotta know where to go. But again, if they flatten out Peak a bit, take away some of the bushes, maybe add houses or something, but get rid of the bush because there's so many kids that just hide in bushes and just wait for someone to go to the buy station or get into a car. It's just really ratty.
So hold on real quick. Is it easier to push a team at Peak or at Prison?
I would say the exact same.
Okay, that's fair.
Exact same.
But then that wouldn't be a mark against Caldera. That's all I'm saying.
No. Yeah. It's just they put Peak in the middle of the map. Like Prison was at the bottom, so like a team could camp there, go ahead. But Peak is in the middle. If the circle's in the middle, it's like that team's not moving.
Okay.
Like Prison, it's rarely in endgame.
That's a fair point. You're right. Yeah, touche. You're right.
When it was an end game, it was a terrible ending spot. Yeah.
True. Okay, Cam, what about you? Caldera or Verdansk?
One thing about the prison thing, the thing is with Peak, there's multiple ways up. You can go, you can go underneath the mountain and zip up, or there's you can go through and walk up the other side or whatever. So there's different ways you can get up. At least there's not one way up like top prison where it's just that one ladder, and if they're up there, you're not getting them off.
Yeah, true.
At least on Peak, you actually have maybe a chance of doing it. It's still a hard push, but there's more chance. But yeah, obviously spent a lot of time on Verdansk. I think I prefer Caldera because I actually see people. The bushes, yeah, cool. There's always going to be bush campers. There was bush campers in Verdansk, but at least there's not people sitting in a corner with a rose skin in a building with zero lighting. That's infinitely better. And obviously, I think I'm just having a way better experience on Caldera, which leans me a bit more towards Caldera.
Yeah. Tanner, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Pardon?
Oh, I was just gonna respond to what Lag was saying about like the stuff with Peak too. I think the more we play the map, the more we'll know to just avoid certain situations. Like yesterday when we were streaming, we pushed a team because they were our bounty at Peak, and we knew we shouldn't have done it, but we did it anyways. And what happened? It was a disaster. I think we ended up finally killing them, but it was like I got sent to the gulag. Then you guys had to buy me back. It was like just constant downs. It was a waste of our time. We should have just actually said, who cares? We're not getting this bounty. We're going somewhere else. And we pushed a stupid angle. And the more we're going to play the map, we're going to learn to just avoid situations like that, or, you know, try to find a helicopter maybe, or push a different direction, something. And we're just not used to that yet.
I think that's a great point too. Yeah. Elle, what were you going to say?
What's worse, the guy in the corner of the stairs with the rose skin sitting there?
That's worse because I literally can't see him. He's 100% of the time going to kill me.
Or someone laying in a bush.
You guys always talk about this bush shit. I don't think I've ever one spin killed and watched a kill cam and someone was just sitting in a bush, honestly.
Yeah, that's also true. It's like, yeah, they can also be like not visible because they're in a bush, but it happens so much more rarely than dying to a rose skin in a dark corner of a building in Verdansk did. That happened every game.
Lay down in a fucking bush with two people walking over him, not being able to see him at all.
Yeah, it'll happen. It can happen, but it happens so less often, like Tanner just said, than someone in a dark corner in a building in Verdansk did, that it's not nearly as big of a problem. Like
using the environment has to be as well, and rather than just poor lighting. That's literally you can actually, even if they're in a bush, if you're close enough to them or whatever, you're still going to see them. You're not going to see the rose skin in the corner.
Yeah. Let me get everyone's opinion before we open this up. I know we're all very excited to get into it, but I just want to get everyone on record. So far, Lag has said even. He said Caldera is growing on him, so it was.
It's growing. It's growing on me.
It was a non-committal, non-answer. So Lag is undecided. Coward. Cam said Caldera. Cope. What about you?
I prefer Verdansk by far.
Why?
Caldera is growing on me a little bit, but it won't ever come close to Verdansk.
Okay, give us a brief why.
Well, it's Bush Dara, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Just so you die to a lot of bush campers.
A lot of bush Wookiees, yep.
Got it.
They're just sitting in the bushes, man.
They just, yep.
And I can't stand it.
Okay, interesting. Mullet.
Which Verdansk are we talking about here?
Any iteration of Verdansk. The best iteration of Verdansk versus current Caldera.
All right, well, I probably still like Caldera more, but I really enjoyed the original Verdansk. Like before Stadium was open or anything.
Okay, really? But you still prefer Caldera. Why is that?
Because you don't know, because I don't think everybody knows all the little cheeky jump spots yet and knows all the little ways to like flank you, and I think it just plays to, hey, making smart rotations a little bit easier than people rolling up on you and stunning you 50 times jumping out of a car.
Okay, interesting. L.
So Verdansk was my first like actual BR that I played.
Got it.
So everyone was like, yeah, this map's shit, I agreed. I'm like, this map's shit, like downtown fucking sucks. And now I get to play a new BR map. And this map fucking sucks even more. I am way pro Verdansk. Verdansk. Take out downtown and Verdansk, the map's perfect in my opinion.
Why do you like Verdansk better than Caldera, briefly?
Way more. Caldera is all about high ground versus low ground fights. That's it. You can't avoid it.
Okay.
No matter what, there will be a team above you.
Okay. Leia.
Definitely Caldera.
Hold on. The POIs are all on the edge of the map in Caldera, which is shit. It makes rotations awful and shit. Verdansk, like you can jump from Boneyard to that little hotel to Super to Ground War, and like you could go to POI all across the map. This map is just all on the edges. It's, if you want to go from one side to the other, it's just all open ground.
Okay. Got it. Leia.
Caldera, and the reason I like it is because it's new and it's interesting and it's more intriguing to me. I was very bored of Verdansk after playing it for so long. And then also I think that Caldera will grow on us as they add new places and develop the map a little bit more. I also like when he says bush campers, I also like the fact that you have to play it more like you're in an actual war. So, for example, if you were actually at war, you're not going to run around like a chimp and just like start shooting at people or hide behind a tree and start shooting at people. You might go on your legs and you're on your belly and crawl up slowly as you're going into that final circle. So all those people on the other side of the map can fight it out, and then you can kill the last guy.
Yeah,
that may be ratty, but that if you were at an actual war and you were actually, you know, in the army or something, that's the tactics that you would actually learn.
True.
Since when has Caldera been a realistic game, though?
L, we need to get everyone on record. Stop it. You'll have your say, okay? Tanner.
Okay.
I think I like Caldera a little bit more. I don't know. I didn't hate Verdansk, and I think Caldera is fine. I still need to play it for literally months to get a solid answer, but Caldera is fun and it's different, and it's more like an actual BR map, whereas Verdansk just felt like ground war, which, you know, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. It just felt a lot more just like a regular multiplayer game, like whereas this feels like a battle royale. Yeah, and I love ground war, so I mean, and I think that's why Verdansk was so popular, though, was because it felt closer to multiplayer than it did battle royale.
Yeah, I think Leia's right about why maybe a lot of people like Caldera, the people who do, is because it's novel, it's new, and like people were fucking done with Verdansk, even if they would have preferred it if they came out at the same time or something. Yeah, so I'm not one of those people, though. Verdansk is a dog shit, trash, awful shit map. The worst BR map I've ever had the displeasure of seeing on Twitch, let alone playing myself. It was terrible. There were an infinite amount of buildings that were never ending. A Byzantine, trash, awful concrete jungle. You couldn't see anyone outside, nor could you see them inside. Every rooftop could only be accessed one fucking way, and if someone was on top of it, you died. And it couldn't have been a worse experience to suffer through. And I'm so glad it's gone. And I wake up and I smile every day knowing that no one can play Verdansk ever again. It makes me giddy. It makes me deeply appreciative of life itself. Caldera is, of course, a better map. You can't just fucking camp in buildings or and be invisible even though you're on my screen. That's happened to me once in Caldera. Since it came out, that would happen to me once a game in Verdansk. The visibility is infinitely better. Fewer buildings, fewer rooftops to fucking rat in. And you actually get to like do gunfights, which is super cool. Because in Verdansk, a lot of times, one team's on a rooftop, one team's rotating into that. Team rotating in, unless they've got some really good snipers, will get fucked. And that's not fun, and it's not skillful. It's not skillful to be on a rooftop and have a massive advantage over the other players, nor is it skillful to die to that. It doesn't matter how good you are. Unless you're a demon sniper, you take them all off a heady and get inside, which was the strat in Verdansk, and that's why sniping, I think, I've revised my position on this. I think sniping was actually more important in Verdansk than in Caldera because everywhere was a head glitch. And if you couldn't rip people off of them to help you rotate, you're fucked. Doesn't matter how good you are with an AR. So Caldera is an infinitely better map. This is a fact. Some people seem to think it's an opinion, which is why I've deigned to bring it to this roundtable. But Caldera was a lot better than Verdansk. Is pushing peak shit? Yeah. It is, but there are a lot of ways up to peak, actually. I mean, there are 360 of them. In fact, it's a circle. That's not true, because there are a lot of parts of that you just simply can't scale. No. So maybe there are 1, 2, 3 gondola. You can maybe count 4, maybe 4 ways up. But then once you're up, you can go underneath and climb a ladder. Or you can go like straight to the, well, I guess you'd have to climb a ladder no matter what. There are a lot of ladders to get to like that top surface, the ramparts or whatever. But yeah, pushing it's bad, but literally any map you conceive of is going to have a spot that is bad to push if another person is there or another team is there. I don't think that's really a mark against the map. L, why don't you, I'll tag you in, buddy. Go ahead.
It's a question.
Okay.
What do you guys like more, the trees in Verdansk or the trees in Caldera?
Caldera.
And then Verdansk, you can like hide behind the trees. Like if someone's shooting you, you can get directly behind that tree and they will not shoot you.
Caldera, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You can't hide behind a tree in this map.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rocks though.
You can't wallbang trees in this map now.
Yeah, you can. Some of them you can.
Some of them you can.
I think it depends on if you're running like FMJ, maybe.
But I loved like Verdansk. Like if I was getting shot at and I'm like in the open, I have a tree right next to me. I can just like immediately get right next to that tree, plate up, and try to get out of the situation or try to ego it.
That is
this
true.
Map, like,
the trees
you have no chance to do
are
that.
Thinner. If it's a 1v1, you can hide behind most trees, though. They're just wide enough if you get like exactly opposite the enemy that you can hide behind it. It happened to me yesterday. I was getting shot by one guy. I was able to get behind a tree and full plate and then die because his teammate pushed me. But it was just wide enough. But as soon as there's multiple angles they can peek you from, yeah, the trees are too small. And in Verdansk, you can get behind a tree and be covered almost your entire front.
It's like
who cares?
This much compared to this much.
Yeah.
What do you guys like better?
I think if you're using a tree for cover anyway, you've already put yourself in a bad position.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's another good point. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Did any of you guys like play BRs before Warzone? Like more than just playing Fortnite for 5 hours? Any of you guys like put hundreds of hours?
I spent a lot of hours. I think I had over 1,000 wins in Fortnite, so I spent a lot of time playing that game. I played a little bit of PUBG, so not so much. It wasn't that great on console.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, a lot of Fortnite. So if anything, this map now it's almost more of a Fortnite map because there was a lot of open spaces in most of the Fortnite maps. You'd have obviously little built up POIs, but there was a lot of open space. The difference is you can't build, but if you got caught out in the open and you didn't have any materials to build, you're dead. Do you know what I mean? Like his positioning and everything on this map is so crucial.
Yeah. So now we can start attacking the reasons that our opponents said one map's better than the other. So I'm pro Caldera. So the most common argument I'm hearing for the pro Verdansk people is people can hide in bushes. Okay, true. People can hide in bushes. My question is this. Do you die more often to bush campers than you did people sitting in corners in Verdansk?
It's nowhere near.
Because I haven't had that experience. So I wouldn't say that Verdansk is better because people didn't hide in bushes in Verdansk. They did, but they just... Here's the thing, too. If there were fewer buildings on Verdansk, people would have hidden bushes more often and more successfully than they do in Caldera. The reason you didn't see it as often in Verdansk is because there were even better options. Corners where your character disappeared. So how is hiding in a bush worse than hiding in a dark corner in Verdansk? Anyone tell me?
The reason why you didn't see it in Verdansk is because there was 200 bushes in the map you could fit in, and there's 100,000 in Caldera.
Okay, but how is that better than hiding in a corner in a building?
Well, if I'm running to zone or anywhere, and you're sitting in a bush, you're just going to shoot me in the back, no cover. If you're in a building, now, if I can't hear you and I don't know you're there, yeah, you're going to kill me. Same as sitting in a bush. You have to enter
the building. That's a fair point.
Yeah. And then if I hear you, which now we all know the audio is bad, so let's take that out of the equation. But if I hear you or have you on heartbeat or UAV or whatever it is, I have two choices. Fight you knowing what you're going to be doing in a corner with a rose skin, or two, run away.
Most of the time they're ghosted.
You have to enter the building for the corner camper to punish you. Whereas in Caldera, if they're in a bush, they'll be able to see you no matter what.
Yeah, and it's
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, I've probably died more than anyone here to kids in a bush, and it infuriates me. And there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's simply nothing you can do. If someone is shooting you from a bush,
you could kill them first.
You could get
You certainly. Well, okay. There's just one beside me at all times. Yeah.
Yeah. Keeps that.
Most of the time, though, I see people in the
but
bushes. Though you can actually see them. You could see like a limb or the gun poking out or something. There's usually something. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
you can.
I think if you're not seeing them, you're not looking hard enough.
I guess I don't have 1440p. I'm only on 1080.
I guess.
Yeah,
I would say
though.
too. I would just add to that, like, so the sporadic nature of the placement of the bushes on this map, as opposed to Verdansk, where it's landscaping. If you have a bush, it's going to probably be next to a building, and it's like a pretty little, bush that's nicely cut. Is definitely different, and I think that might also lead to the fact that like they're harder to see people on, because you're not able to like snap to that bush and be like, it's that bush, because you're gonna have to snap to 50 bushes. You're not gonna be able to snap to one or be like, let me check that bush or let me check that corner of the building. You can't check all the bushes. You have to move slowly, and you have to really be aware of your surroundings.
I was playing with Cope, and we were at that drop spot, Cope, the drop spot.
Yeah.
The drop spot that
There's
we found.
bushes right outside that building. This is like 2 days ago, Cope. There was one guy we could not find. We ran around for like 30 seconds trying to find the kid. I abused the aim assist, went left, right, got slow down on this bush, killed him.
That's where your awareness helped you kill the guy in the bush. So if you're aware of bushes, you know, if there's a bush near you, you've got to be aware that there could be a guy camping in that bush. At least you can kill him rather than the guy that's sitting in the corner you never knew was there, ghosted, not moving at all, and he just kills you as soon as you run up the stairs.
If there's a bush around me,
just got to be aware, man.
I think always a bush around you.
I think in like an 8-hour session, I might die to one guy that's sitting in a bush, and that's usually playing solos.
This is my main confusion too, is that like this just doesn't happen to me. Like, I've died to someone who's just in a bush, I don't know, 6 times maybe, and I've played a lot more games than that. Like, it's just not happening to me as often as it seems to be happening to you guys. I don't know why
this is also a problem in more solos and duos. I don't know how often you play solos and duos.
I could definitely see that being the case. Here's another question. Is it possible that Verdansk is a better map for this team size, but Caldera is a better map for that team size? So, for example, is Verdansk better for solos, but Caldera for 4s? Is that possible? Does anyone feel that way, maybe?
I think even on Verdansk, though, I'd still die to bush campers in solos or duos or whatever. So they'd still do it no matter what map it is. They're still going to do it.
I agree.
I think some of the thing with this Verdansk versus Caldera, I think it's the nostalgia feeling. You know, we spent a lot of time on Verdansk. Everyone grew a sort of attachment to it, and now something new's come along, and they're like, oh, we don't like it because it's different.
Yeah, Call of Duty players love doing that too. Yeah.
I'll say I've had a lot of fun playing solos on this map. I'll say that. I've had a lot of fun. Solos.
Super fun.
I would think so. Like, I haven't played solos because it's terrible and boring, but I feel like solos would play better on Caldera, even though you know with you guys talking about all the bush campers and stuff. Because solos in Verdansk, you would walk into a building in the middle of nowhere, and there'd be some kids sitting in a corner, ADSing at the door, not moving with Deddy popped. And like, so now at least on Caldera, those people have to be out in the open. Whether or not they're in a bush, okay, maybe, but at least they're not just cowering in a building and you run in and just die without expecting it. Like what happened to me yesterday, that kid in the most random building I've ever seen.
Oh my God, that was so fucking funny.
That was the rattiest thing I've seen on this map.
Dude, Tanner,
the solo hot drop is
Tanner's the last one alive on the team. He gets in a chopper. He marks a supply run contract. He flies over there, parks
out of the
chopper,
circle, by the way.
Out of the zone, yeah. He parks the chopper outside the building, runs in, is going upstairs to get the contract, and as soon as he like turns the corner, there's a guy fucking crouch mounted on a doorway, pre-aiming him and just destroys him. It was so fucking funny. And I was like, oh, are we on Verdansk? It was very interesting. I enjoyed
him and I were probably the only 2 people within a 300-meter radius of there. Actually, and he was 100%. Mounted in that building. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was very strange.
So I've died to more of that than I have bush campers on Caldera, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think on Verdansk as well, especially when it comes to endgame, sometimes you would have to enter these buildings. At least on this map, you're not really forced into buildings most of the time.
Yeah, that's true too.
I feel too that I've killed more bush campers than I've died to them. Does anyone else feel that way?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Nope.
Because another thing about Caldera, which we kind of touched on earlier, is that UAVs are more prevalent because of all the cash. Advanced UAVs are more prevalent because of big game bounties now. And I have a lot more information on my minimap about where people are in Caldera than I did in Verdansk. So even if some asshole is bush camping, I just got a big game, bitch. I see you. You can't hide. So I know there's a guy there now. And then I keep that combat scout on me. So if I see him for a second, get one bullet on him, he's fucked. He's fucked. Because he can't take cover in the bush. The bush doesn't stop bullets, unlike a building would in Verdansk.
Yep.
So I think that's another reason. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't see the huge concern with bush camping, and that's going to be a, people hiding in foliage is going to be a problem on any BR map, unless you wanted Call of Duty Warzone Mojave Desert or something, and there's just like tumbleweeds and just sand. Other than that, it's going to be a problem no matter what too. So I don't know.
Do you know what with the bushes as well is even if the player's not necessarily moving directionally, even if he's turning like his character looking different ways, the bush actually makes quite a bit of noise. There's a lot of audio there with the bush, whereas the audio is terrible in Verdansk, and you wouldn't even hear. What? Yeah, if you can always hear people moving through bushes, and it makes a lot of audio.
I haven't noticed that. Maybe that's true though.
It is pretty noticeable.
Interesting.
There's sound in this game.
Probably something you have to train your ear to find. So I'll definitely be listening for that. That's
something a solo player would notice that I just wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have played a fair bit of solos on this map.
Yeah. So you'll pick up on things like that. Yeah. That's interesting.
Go
ahead.
I'll create a point here that everyone's going to agree with here. Get gas canisters out of the fucking game.
Yes,
they're kind of funny, to be honest.
They're funny, but
dude,
when you die by them, it's just like man,
our first game we dropped into Caldera. We were up at peak, and I grabbed one from down below, lit it, threw it up there, cracked a guy. So then Bango cooks a grenade, throws it up there. It blows up the canister that's up there, and he team wipes the team.
Whoa, that's funny. That's cool. Yeah, I mean the canisters are terrible, but there are funny moments. For sure with them.
Well, if I blow up a canister and kill someone, I don't get the kill for it.
Well, you guys notice that argument about peak. There's so many fucking canisters, dude. What am I gonna do? What am I, a demolitionist? I have to go through and sweep the sector and destroy 8 dozen canisters. There are too many.
Getting that heli on peak is chalked because if you try to squash people, you're gonna run to a canister and kill yourself.
Yeah.
But I was on a 16 kill game with like 25, 30 people up in solos. Ran in my car, ran over a canister, blew myself up.
Yeah, I think in general, Mullet, you're right that the canisters are like avoidable and just get good and figure it out. But, and even if that's true, which I think it is, what do they add having them in the game? It's like maybe there isn't that much downside, but there's also no upside, so why have them? That's my position.
I don't know. I find them comical. I'm always picking them up.
They are funny. I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. They are funny.
Your teammate will be like, "What was that?" Like thinking
I threw it at you guys or
something.
Yeah,
I threw it at Tanner and downed took off all his plates.
Such a piece of shit, L. Yeah.
Back to what Cam was just saying about bush audio. That is a real thing, and I've also noticed that it's louder than footsteps. Even last night when we were playing customs, it was like one of the final circles. There was like 10 people left. One of my teammates was up above me. I mean, probably 20, 25 meters, and I kept hearing bush movement. I'm like, is there someone behind me? And then I look up, and it was my teammate standing in a bush, just moving back and forth, and you can hear that. I could not hear his footsteps and wouldn't be able to either. So if you pay attention for it, you can really notice it.
Interesting.
Yes, it's like Tarkov bushes. Honestly, they're loud. You just have to start paying attention to them. And then also, you know, in COD, there's all sorts of other noises going on. The announcers yelling at me. My teammates are yelling at me. There's airplanes flying over. Yeah. But if you're in a quiet area, it's very noticeable.
Yeah. So is that the worst part of Caldera? The bushes? Is that the consensus for the pro Verdansk people?
The bushes and Peak. I mean, Peak is just too tall. It's that simple.
It's too tall. It's too hard to climb.
The POIs for me.
Oh, it's just too tall. It's annoying. Make it more flat.
Yeah.
I mean, the invisible skins was the worst. I mean, that's the biggest problem, I think.
I actually never had that much of an issue dealing with that.
Oh my god!
Like I noticed it. I noticed it, and I like saw people that had it. I just never had much of a problem with it.
Must be nice.
Every time I try to play, I play with Cope, and I see 3 or 4 guys in Visa skin. I was like, no, I'm getting off. I'm not doing this.
That's the smart play, yeah.
Like, you can still see their head, and you can see that move. Like, you can...
I'll TK you next game.
Okay. I think the worst thing about this map is the canisters by far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's times, though, where... So, it happened to me the other day. I was in a heli. I was on top of Peak. I land the heli, I jump out of the heli, and then it just blows up. And I was like, how? No one shot it. No one set the fuse off. It just blew up. And I was like, great. But surely, though, if I had hit it with the heli, it would have blown up instantly. Do you know what I mean? If it was a impact detonation on it, it would have blown up. But clearly wasn't, and it just decided it was going to blow up.
Yeah. I think the worst part of this map is that Peak has a particular face that is not climbable, and it should be. Yes. It's like if you want to make a spot that is intentionally unable to be scaled, that's fine, and like make it really sheer and basically vertical. And then it's like, okay, you can't climb there. I get that, but there's a part of Peak which I believe is I think it's like the southwestern area, where it's like, I should be able to walk up this and I can't. That's the worst part of Peak. That pisses me off.
When I can climb something that's this, when I can climb something at this elevation, but I can't climb a fucking rock,
exactly.
Dude.
Yeah,
right by the tunnel, and it drags you to the house.
Yeah,
you're trying to climb it.
The part with the tunnel is the worst part.
Like under the tunnel.
That's the worst part of Peak.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if you guys have experienced it as well. Like, if say you're on top Peak, you're on the closest side to fields on the right on the top. There's obviously there's a hole where you've got the ladder. Now I've thrown there's people underneath. I've thrown a C4 in there or something. I detonate it, and the explosion comes through the floor. Wouldn't damage you normally, but it blows up all the canisters around you, and you die because of the canisters. Like, how does that even make sense? You can't take explosive damage through the wall, but the canisters do.
By yourself.
Yeah,
but I don't get that. You don't take damage from the explosion itself, but the canisters do.
And then those damage you. Yeah, I don't know.
And and the blast radius on the canisters is way too big.
Yeah.
I don't know how big it is, but I feel like it's just a chain reaction. One goes off and they fucking all go off.
I think they're dumb, but I haven't I don't know. They haven't really.
The only way you ever have them is if you hot drop.
Like they have cams. I mean, how many Cam, let's be honest, okay? Level with me. How many canisters have killed you? Because it sounds like we're talking dozens.
Quite a few, but I've got some kills from the canisters as well.
You've been shooting them on purpose, or just on accident?
Yeah. Like if someone's like, obviously on Peak, people just sort of head glitch behind the boxes or whatever, and you'll shoot the canister next to them and it will kill them. I think there's other times as well though where gas nades, stuns, flashes. But I think the canister must literally take one hit point to blow up.
Close to that, yeah.
Because that's how much a stun would do, and as stuns, I think if anything with the canisters, they need to raise the damage limit on the canister so a stun doesn't blow it up, or a gas nade doesn't blow it up. That would be. I think that would be a good change to him. I don't think we really needed him in the game anyway. It was just a cheesy thing that they've added. They don't remove Deddy, but they add these canisters in. Cool.
It's to distract you from Deddy.
Or you're trying to reload and you pick up the canister.
Oh, that shit's annoying. Or trying to load
you don't
a
even
gun.
look at it.
Shit.
That shit is annoying.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
You don't even look at the canister and you still pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even have so obviously, you know, when you get the little pop-up on your screen to interact with it, it doesn't even pop up and I still pick up the canister. That's the most infuriating thing. There's actually a zip on Peak where there's a canister right next to the zip, and you'll go up there, it'll say interact with the zip, you'll press the button and it picks up the canister.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
So, as I said, Leia is a queen and she brought us a list of things she would like to talk about. Leia, what's our next topic here? What do you want to get into next?
Well, I like to think about your audience and what everyone's watching would kind of like to hear us talk about. And I think just from this completely skilled group that you have here with tons of experience, I think they would like to know a tip maybe from each of us, like the best tip for a casual player and someone that's wanting to learn to grow and improve their skills on this map.
Okay, I like it.
Ooh.
Lag, what's a spicy hot tip you have for a casual Warzone player to improve?
Positioning.
Say more.
Positioning is everything. It will help you boost your KD up, how you take gunfights. Let's say you have a team of 3 pushing you. You want to try to cover yourself from 2 of them if they're spread out and try to down 1 instead of exposing, let's say, your upper body to all 3 of them so they can all beam you at once. Positioning will help you win a lot more and get your KD up a lot faster.
That's a great tip because it's also not terribly difficult to implement.
No.
So we always want to avoid, if we're giving tips to casuals, things like aim better, right? Because that will help you do better, but that's very, very, very difficult to do. Whereas something like, hey, think about your positioning a little more, that's an easy fix. That's easy to implement. Hard to master, but it's easy to start improving on that right away, even as a casual player. Excellent tip, Lag Show. Cam.
I would suggest watching other streamers, watching YouTube videos. Iceman Isaac has a lot of educational YouTube videos about being a better BR player, not just about, dropping 20, 30 kills every single game, but about rotations and, certain things. And, being in turn with the watching YouTube stuff, being up to date with the metas and what's good to use and what's not good to use. If you use the best guns, it's going to put you in the best possible position to do well in the game.
True. Yeah. I think that's a great tip as well. Iceman Isaac has a YouTube channel. He has a Twitch stream too, but on his YouTube channel, he has a series, I believe, which I still think he uses, called Warzone Academy. And it is geared toward like casuals, like new players, just like basic shit that will help you improve a lot. And even if a tip is basic, that doesn't mean it isn't valuable, because if you master every basic fundamental battle royale component and you get those down in your game, that's going to add up to you being pretty fucking good. So that's a great tip as well, Cam. Thank you. Cope.
My tip would be to implement vehicles more into your gameplay.
Ooh, say more.
Kind of going back to the point like Lag said, like if you're playing, any game mode, if you're in a car and you pull up on a team, or if you're playing solo as one guy, you will always have cover. And if you're playing like trios or quads, like if you roll up on a team and they're kind of split, you can corner off half their team and fight 2 or 1 guys, get out, reposition. You can fight on the edge of zone way more because you can drive away. I mean, it's just so valuable. And if you watch a lower skilled player play, they almost never get in a vehicle ever.
That's a great tip too.
Ever.
And I like that you said that you can use it as cover too, because that's not what people think about often when they talk about vehicles. I think Tfue is the master of this in terms of Warzone.
Pieman too, yeah.
Yeah, Pieman.
Pyman does the crazy seat swapping shit that I wouldn't suggest a casual try to learn, honestly.
No.
But
Pyman's just the go to vehicles, though.
Yeah. But like when most people think of like, oh, use vehicles more, that's a good tip. And they think like, oh yeah, because you can get into zone faster, you can position more quickly and better, and all that's great. But also, I like that you added, you always have cover. That's true. And even low-skilled players that happen to be in cars oftentimes will fail to utilize that piece of mobile cover to their advantage. And you really can and should do that. Like, all right, park your car. So, for example, pull up to a buy station in a Bertha, have the driver's side facing the buy so that when you get out and you start buying something, you have cover right there. Or position yourself so that the driver's side is away from the people who are shooting you so you can get out, slow peek the hood, have a nice little head glitch, and then kill them. And I'm glad you added that component to the tip about vehicles, because the cover that they do provide is super valuable. And I don't think people think about that as much when they think about the utility of a vehicle.
Yeah, and like, for example, like me and Elle were playing duos probably 2 nights ago, and it was like there was 4 teams left, and we had high ground, and so we were on the hill, and I had the Bertha facing like the driver's side towards where everybody else was. And I was like on the back side of it, and I thought, well, this is fucking stupid. If I'm getting shot, I'm going to be stuck in the animation getting in the Bertha. So I got in the Bertha and I turned it around and I stood on, like, I exposed myself, and I knew if I got shot, I'd just interact, teleport to the other side. Yep, I'm no longer getting shot. Get outplayed, you fucking idiots. True. I'm gone.
Yep.
See ya.
Yeah. That's a pro tip too. For sure, because you can, if you are, if they're shooting you from passenger side, and you're also on passenger side, you just press that thing, and you will quite literally teleport to cover.
Yep.
Yeah. True.
Do you know what as well with Cope's point with the vehicles is you can actually gain more awareness of your surroundings just by being in the vehicle, because you can actually see everything. You can look around.
Third person, you can camera people. True.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, that's another great point.
That's such a valuable thing, because there's sometimes I'll be driving around and I'll know where I'll know that there's people around me. I won't get out of the vehicle until I can actually see them.
Nice, yeah.
I loved Cope's point of like you can make a 1v3 gunfight a 1v1 with that vehicle. Like, position it to such a way that those 2 people don't see you. Get that down. Get the full. Play it up behind the vehicle or get back in the vehicle. Go from there.
True. Yeah, for sure. Mullet.
I mean, to kind of go along with what Lag was saying with positioning, like, earlier people were complaining about having to fight uphill. I never fight uphill. Like, unless it's the final circle and I have to. I'll rotate around. I'll run through the gas. I'll go do whatever. I just don't. Like, I'm not fighting that fight.
Yeah.
So I would say don't fight uphill and like just know when to engage. Versus just because you have information and know where a team is doesn't mean you have to go push and chimp them like L probably would. I'm more on like trying to win the game than get 50 million kills.
Yep.
So like, okay, cool. I know a team's over there, but I can go this way. And then let those guys fight, and then third party, rather than, okay, we go fight them, and then this team comes in third parties and ends up probably winning the game.
Yep. That's just like what Tanner said earlier about us fighting that team on peak. Like, the smarter play, like you're saying, Mullet, would have been to just say, fuck that. Fuck these kids, I'm leaving. I'll deal with them later, or they'll die to someone else, and I won't have to deal with them at all. Yeah, true. Good point.
We're not smart.
What about you?
I would say Rebirth is very good for getting in gunfights a lot. It's a very repetitive, get in a game, get out of a game, very repetitive, always action. That's how you get better at gunplay and gun skill, is always being in those fights.
And that's better than multiplayer, because you also have to contend with the correct amount of health, because there are plates. You have to realize when to plate versus when not to plate, and all of that experience will transfer far better to Warzone than merely multiplayer would. So
you're playing your life too. You're playing your life and not just. It's like an iteration between multiplayer and a BR.
It's a good transitory kind of mode too. Yeah, that's a great point too. I like that
a lot of just get in a lot of repetition of gunfights.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great tip. Leia, what has benefited you the most as a newer player? You're not so casual these days, but you used to be. What
was frying last night in
tip have you
customs.
heard from anyone or learned yourself that's helped you the most, maybe as a new frog?
Yeah, so I have several, but I think one of the most important things that I've learned and that I actually received from another player when I was playing with them and they were spectating me, is centering the center of your screen where you're going to shoot. Like if you're running up a hill, like aim at where you think a person would be. You can still look around, but always go back to that position where you think you might be running into a team.
True.
So you can still look around, but keeping your center point somewhere where you're ready to shoot. That was very, very helpful. And then just, I could probably talk about this forever. We could have a whole episode. But another thing would be communication. Really working on my communication and understanding, okay, that, oh, he's right here isn't a good comm. Like saying he's up on the hill to the right. Yeah, he's up on the hill to the right. And really listening to myself, like, when I know I made a bad comm, okay, I made a bad comm. I need to do better, and just keeping that in your mind that you don't have to scream out, oh my God, there's someone here, So that was very helpful.
I hate when people are like, oh, he's northeast, he's south. I'm like, you're making me look at my compass to know where the fuck south is. Just ping the direction that he's at.
Ping or say he's to my right or he's to your right.
In that building or whatever.
I like when people do comms like that. It's so easy to just look up your compass. If you're plating up and behind a rock, what am I going to do? What am I going to get out of cover to try to mark it for you? No. I'm plating up. Look at your dumb direction.
A general direction.
They're south on the other side of the rock of me. Figure it out. That's your job.
We can debate the best way to comm, but it's all better than saying he's right there, I think was Leia's point, which I think we can all agree on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question, though.
If you mark it and say he's right there, then that's fine, yeah.
How hard was it you to, integrate centering into your game, Leia?
It was something that it took me probably like a week or two, but it was that I needed to, I had to, when I was on the PlayStation, I started doing this, and I got a dry erase marker, and I put a little red dot on my screen with a dry erase marker, and I said, I need this dot everywhere I run, everywhere I look, this dot needs to be where I want it to go. And I use that to kind of help my centering, and now I don't really use it as much anymore. I still use my integral dot, but I definitely focus more on the white dot that that Warzone gives me.
Yeah, I think that's.
I feel like that's
an
easy.
Really
it's so easy to say to always have your gun at expected places. It's so easy to have good centering. It's very hard to actually implement, though.
I agree, especially in Warzone when you're constantly looting.
Look down when I'm picking up loot. Yeah,
exactly. It's easier to do in games like CS:GO where centering maybe came from, honestly. Or maybe Quake. I don't know. But because that's all you have to worry about. Because you're not trying to fucking buy loadout in CS:GO. But in Warzone, it's very easy to understand why centering is good. You should be aimed at upper torso or head level. On corners you expect people to be pushing you from. Sure, we all know that. But actually doing it is very hard, But it will absolutely pay off 100% of the time. So yeah, that's a good tip. Tanner, what about you, little tiny bud?
Regarding what you're saying about Counter-Strike, yeah, if you play on PC, by the way, K-Bam, go play against bots on Counter-Strike or Valorant for 2 hours, and your centering will be 100 times better than what it was before. That's the best way to get better centering in Call of Duty is don't play Call of Duty for 2 hours, and you'll realize how important it is, and you'll be used to it immediately.
Yeah.
Tarkov.
Yeah, everyone's made good points, so I just have a little tip. Mine is another good thing you always see really good high skilled players do is getting in cover and plating every single time they take damage. This isn't multiplayer where you can take a point of damage, ego chow them again, and hope they miss a shot and get the kill. If you have 2 plates missing, it's not smart to re-peek that angle. I know everyone wants to do it, but the best thing to do, watch any pro for an hour. They run away in gunfights. They go through buildings. They get behind trees, get behind rocks. They keep moving, slide canceling while they're plating up. And they're not going to take that gunfight again until they have either full health or more health than what they started with. And that's the best thing you can get used to doing, is prioritize healing rather than continuing the gunfight when you're low health. It's so important, because you're not going to win that gunfight ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm tempted to say keep vision while you plate, but I don't think that is sufficient. I think that's a little too challenging for a beginner, because it's hard to determine what angle to peek, when, what's the threshold for how much health it's safe for me to peek at versus not. But I'll give the tip anyway. And this is something I'm trying to work on, because this is right now the biggest thing I'm trying to work on, and one of my biggest weaknesses is that when I do take damage from someone and I like know where they are, so it's like, okay, he's behind that sandbag and he just ripped me, and like I'm now gonna get behind this wall and full plate. So I'll be plating, and the beta move is to just stay behind the wall the entire time until I'm fully plated and then re-peek. But what can happen oftentimes is that while I'm doing that, since I haven't re-peeked to get vision or intel, he pops deady and is running literally straight at me. And all I needed to do when I had finished getting one plate in was quickly peek around the corner just to look, with no intention of shooting him. The only reason to peek is to just get eyes and then go back in and finish plating. It's not even like get one plate and then go fucking, blind fire him. It's just to get like re-peek, get vision, see if he's moved, see if he hasn't moved, and then go back into cover and finish plating. That's a tip I'm trying to work on, but I do think that's more challenging than it sounds, because you run the risk of just dying if you do that too early, and that's going to give you trouble. So an easier tip, I think, for a casual newer player to get better is to rotate earlier than you currently are. I think if you have like a low KD in Warzone, I bet you're dying to gas a lot. Or if you're not dying to gas a lot, you're dying to teams who are in zone that have a way more advantageous position than you, because they got in zone sooner than you, and you're trying to run into zone and they kill you. But in either case, you're dying because you didn't rotate early enough. And I think if you just rotate way earlier than you currently are, so that you don't have to contend with the gas variable as often, you will do way better. That is very easy to do. Get into the fucking circle now. It's that simple. Don't try and take gunfights outside of zone. Oh, it's just one guy. There's 4 of us. Let's just kill him real quick. And he's being a nuisance, and now he's wasted 90 seconds of your time. And then, oh, but it's fine because the gas is still behind us. Well, it's probably not, actually, because everyone heard you. You're running into zone now. These Chads over here all have self-res and precision airstrikes, and they're with bated breath waiting for you to run into zone and fuck your ass. And then you get your ass fucked. And what you should have done was just get in sooner, because then you would have seen those guys camping you, and you would have had time, since gas was far away enough, to take a different angle, rotate in, and avoid the fight, and not fight uphill like Mullet was saying, for example. Elle, you had your hand raised.
I was just gonna say, I love like what you're talking about. Also, put I can't remember where it is in the settings. There's a setting to where you can apply all plates. Always have that on. So you can push it and it applies all plates instead of just pushing it and you put one plate in at a time.
And then you have to push it again. Yeah.
Because there are times, I think, especially in like solos or duos, where it's like, you have time to plate once, and that's all. And plating exactly once is like the ideal thing to do.
You can YY and cancel
you
the
can stop
animation.
the animation.
You can, but I think in a situation where you only have time to plate once, I'd rather press one button than 3. And I think that's going to be better than me having time to press plate 3 times, just pressing plate 3 times. I think the convenience is not
I think the
worth
convenience
it.
outweighs I think the convenience outweighs those situations way more.
I see when I watch good players, they will very often just like plate only ones. Like I'm pretty sure Pieman doesn't have that setting on, for example.
I think everyone has it on. It's
Everyone has the
stop it
setting
after
on.
one.
Yeah.
That's
I think it
weird.
all depends on the
haven't experienced
situation.
that. I'd have to pay more attention, but I used to have that on and then I turned it off because I noticed I was like, I don't know, just wasn't thinking about it, and then I'm getting pushed and panic, and then it's like I'm fucked now. Whereas if I just had it on the one button at a time, because what I do, if I know I have time to fully plate, I'll press 4 3 times, and then it's the same thing. It's like, who cares?
Like Leia, you were in my stream like a couple days ago, and you're like, I need to learn how to run away and play at the same time.
That's where pressing it once will help. Yeah, sure. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and be moving.
sliding,
Or like if you're somewhere and you're like moving around and like you said, trying to peek, Raz, like if you're trying to move around and peek over the corner and play and not get sniped from the other side, that might be helpful. But now that you say that, though, I've had it full plate for so long, I almost want to try it the other way again because it's been so long.
Because
like, Raz, you were saying you put one plate in?
It will queue 3 times, so I don't have to have my fingers on it anymore if I want to peek.
You said you put one plate in and then peek the corner. Like I'm putting all my plates in
I
while I'm peeking the corner.
Yeah, I queue all 3, and then if I have to cancel it, I will. But queuing all 3 for me constitutes pressing it 3 times
does controller
instead of
then.
just once.
Okay.
I don't think it works the same thing as keyboard and mouse that does controller then, because I don't think you can queue all 3 on controller.
Oh, really?
It's a someone in chat saying
You can. I had it off of most of the time I played Verdansk, and it was only like maybe 3 months ago I actually put it on because I was like, I was watching a stream and they was like, oh, you know, I have all. Apply all, and I was like, what? There's a setting for that? I never knew there was a setting up until then. I was like, so I'm there because on my controller, like I hold like this button here, the paddle on the back to apply my plates, the same as I would on my Cronus. Yeah,
got it.
To apply the plates, you know, with the Cronus aim assist, you apply the plates faster. But yeah, I was holding it down. Whereas if I press it once, I can then still continue moving. You know, you can slide about still while you're applying plates.
I'll try it again.
That's another thing.
You guys are making some
That's
good
another
points.
thing as well. Is it frees you up to, you know, do other things. Do you know what I mean? While you're doing it, you know.
Yeah.
Freeze it. Especially if you've obviously got different, because obviously on keyboard you're gonna have different keybinds for different things. You can be controlling something else, and I think as well with that is staying moving. Like I feel like the more you sit still, the more chance you've got of dying. I think the more you move, the better you are.
Absolutely true.
Because you can gain more information by moving about.
I love that point that Raz made of like while you're plating or getting intel.
Yeah,
so whether you're going to run away or chow them immediately, you know exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
Before you actually do it.
Cope, I don't know if it's a. Oh, go ahead, Cope.
Oh, I was just going to say another tip, and I just thought of it. I was spectating someone last night in customs. And it was kind of late into the game, and they were sniping, and they were strafing. Well, no, it wasn't. Stop. They were strafing a window back and forth, like left to right, like full peeking the window, and then full peeking the window. And my
were
point
they
is
predictable?
Oh, of course.
Oh no, what'd you do, bud? You ripped their
I was spectating them.
Okay, I see.
And so my point is peeker's advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to think about when you're playing the game and you're getting shot and whatever, but you always want to like peek from the right side because it exposes less of your body. Like he was strafing, and he got 2 plates taken off, and then he peeked from the left, so all of his body was showing, and he could only see a tiny window, and then he got downed. And it's like, it is not really a beginner tip, I would say, but it's something to like watch for in your own gameplay.
Yeah.
You always want to peek like from the right side.
That's not going to be relevant often, but there are times, like if I'm behind a tree, I can peek left or right equally as easily. In that case, choose right.
Yeah.
Because it's easier. But most of the time, it won't be relevant, but there will be times where it is. So yeah, that's a good point. It's good, something to keep in mind.
I think as well with the, I know you obviously said most of the time, you're not going to win that gunfight if you ego chow with less plates than the opposition player has. But you know, sometimes as well, that's like with the change to stims, you can actually make that play where you completely slide past them, camera them, and then you're able to gain that advantage even though you're down on plates. That sometimes can pay off, but it's going to be definitely more the skillful player that's going to be able to pull off that move, or a bit of luck as well.
For sure. Okay, Elle, what did you want to talk about? Something with streaks being weird? Tell me more.
Yeah, cluster strikes and airstrikes work differently in this map than it did Verdansk. I.e., no notifications a lot of the times, a ton of times, and B, it heat sinks the shit out of you. I swear to God, it does.
I think it already did before, anyways.
Yeah.
I think the clusters already followed you. They don't really feel different.
I don't know. They don't seem different. To me.
I had a cluster called on me. I got in my Bertha and drove straight as far as I could, and it still hit me. Like, how can I get in a Bertha immediately when I was called and drive as far as I can, and it still blows up with the Bertha?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I see. I think with the clusters, they definitely track you, but I've noticed with the airstrikes is they come in from different angles. So, you know, like you would call it in, it would come in usually from the angle that the players called it in from. Now they come in from all sorts of angles. I've found myself, so I'll say you get, you know, you're on, I've had it where I was on top peak, I was on one side of peak, yeah, I get the airstrike noti, I run to the other side and it still hits me, and I'm like, how far do I need to run? And then I watch the kill cam and it comes in from a completely different angle that the guys actually called it in from, and it's like, but why are you getting the noti all the way over there? If I think I would have actually been safe if I'd stayed where I was compared to where I moved to.
Exactly. I get that so many times. I'm like, I should have just stayed where I was.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I mean, there are more precisions in clusters now because there's so much fucking money, and I hate it, and that's why I want the money to be toned down significantly. But in my experience, they behave just as trash, dog shit, no notification, I die. If I'm in 100 meters of where it was called every single time, but mine never do any damage ever. It's impossible. That was true in Verdansk for me too, though. I don't know. That doesn't feel different to me. Tanner, you have a couple items written down here, bud. What would you like to get into next?
Oh boy, I don't know. I'd like to either talk about the loadout drop change or Vanguard Royale versus regular BR. Which one would you guys all rather discuss here first?
We should do both, right?
Let's start with both of them. Let's start with the loadout change.
Loadout?
Who is in favor of the loadout change? Raise your hand.
Like halfway.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
So 2.5. Okay.
So we've got 2.5. We've got two and a half. Okay. So Leia and Mullet and Cam, kind of. Interesting. Let's start with Cam. Why are you halfway in favor of the loadout change?
I like the fact of everyone has to get their loadout at the same time, but I think it should be a shorter duration.
Okay.
That's a good thought, yeah.
I think I maybe agree with that. What about you, Mullet? Where are you at?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I like that everybody's on a level playing field rather than the straight RNG. I landed on an orange box and then get some sweat lord pushing me in the car when I have $100 and M1 grand.
Yeah.
So like it makes
you
it
want a world
bit...
war with that gun, man. Come on. Are you serious?
Well.
Yeah, and then they hear the ting and I got 4 dudes running after me and I have no bullets in my gun.
Your 8-round mag is dry, you're fucked. Yeah. Okay.
When you hear that ting, that's the sound of death.
Yeah.
So like there are a lot of times where you can go buy a UAV and then go like push a team or like get a bounty and go do stuff. But even then, after you do that, it's still not time for the loadout. So I like the level playing field, but to Cam's point, it's a little too long.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Leia, what about you?
I think for the casual, I agree with everything that they said. But I think when you drop, you have to, if you're dropping outside a circle, you have to initially think about your rotation. So you have to formulate which buy station am I going to, or where do I want to be, because you know that the loadout's going to drop in circle. So if you're out of circle, you have to already rotate. I also agree with it takes longer for sweats like Cope and these gentlemen here to start hunting me, which I enjoy. And also it makes you have to learn how to use the ground loot. You have to learn how to use it. So that M1 Grand or Garand, however you say it, is like you have to learn how to shoot it, and you have to and you can also learn new guns that way. You don't always get lucky and get your MP40 and STG 44. You know,
green STG, green MP40.
You got to have some versatility, which implies you need more skill, raising the skill gap potentially. Interesting argument. Interesting argument. Raise your hand if you think the loadout change should be completely reverted, not changed, but completely reverted to what it used to be originally.
I'm like kind of halfway on that too.
I'm still like,
okay,
keep it the same amount of money, but just let us or raise the money and let us buy whenever we want.
So
interesting.
I think it should not take. It takes 7 minutes of gameplay until you get your loadout. I think that's a little too long. Maybe like half that.
Yeah.
Maybe like not buy it off the rip, but like.
I'm actually, actually really surprised. I think most of us actually agree on this because I'm in favor of a revision as well. Because, like a number of people have already said, I do like how everyone gets loadout at the same time, and I don't get fucked by RNG because some asshole landed on an orange crate, has $80,000, and I have my 19 or a top break, and I'm just fucked. That's true. That's good because it's not skillful that you happened to like land on a good crate and buy loadout before me because you got lucky with money and now you have a giant advantage. You're probably going to win, and it's not necessarily because you're better. In fact, it could be despite the fact that you're worse, just because you got lucky. So I do like that everyone is forced to get loadout at roughly the same time. You can't always get to your loadout. It's not like it, but you get what I'm saying. But also I agree with L. 7 minutes in the game, stop. Warzone is Warzone exclusively because of loadouts, and that's what makes this a fundamentally different and wildly successful, I would argue, BR. And we need to allow that to happen fucking way sooner, because being team wiped before anyone got their loadout is just so unfun, demoralizing, trash, dog shit. So I would argue that, which again, I'm shocked most of us, I think, seem to agree. Have it be how it is now, except that community loadout and then unlocking being able to buy it happens like 4 minutes sooner, something like that, but a lot sooner than now. But still, give everyone a loadout at the same time.
Yeah.
I like how the customs were too. Like the loadout dropped in customs, how it dropped in Verdansk. It wasn't during the second circle, it was before that circle. So no matter where you were on the map, the loadout would drop near you. Yeah. Rather how it is now. I've had it 600 meters away from me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of like that, because then if you die, it'll be in zone for way longer, honestly. It was very cringe in Verdansk if you're way out of zone. If you die, you get bought back in 30 seconds, but now your loadie's gone because you were too far out of zone. I actually kind of like that the community one drops in the next zone. I think it's better overall. It can be annoying, but at least that loadie is in play for way longer. I think I kind of like that change.
At least in Verdansk, and drop onto the goddamn map.
Well, yeah.
I almost think as well, if the loadie was slightly sooner, it would actually benefit the casuals even more, because they'd be able to get the guns that they're comfortable with and the perks as well, so they could potentially be ghosted. Because the thing is, if you're a half decent player or whatever, and you find some fairly decent ground loot, what we do is we go to we buy a UAV, and we push the first people we see on the UAV, regardless of whether we've got loadout or not, because we know that they don't have loadout anyway. So, at least these guys might have had a better chance if they could get their loadout slightly sooner, because that first couple of minutes you're looting anyway. So at least if you could get your loadout after that looting period, then it would stop that little gap in between. So we're looting for a minute, fighting the people that are close to us. Then we go to buy a UAV for the next 3-4 minutes. We're hunting people that maybe just still looting as well. But if they could have got their loadout after that 3 minutes, then they would be in a better position to fight us at that point as well.
Yeah.
But do you think the gap between you with your loadout and them with their loadout is less than the gap between you with no loadout and them with no loadout?
It's huge.
Yeah, I think you guys with your guns are way. It amplifies way more.
Yeah, it's a good.
I don't think that adds that much if their loadout sucks anyway.
But
if I'm with an MP40,
I think if they're ghosted, it gives them an advantage. I get a green loot gun or blue, I'm pushing anything. They're as good as a loadout gun. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right now,
green
they're not
MP40,
ghosted. I'm just going and pushing a full team that's on UAV, and they're not.
They
ghosted,
could potentially they could have potentially grabbed Ghost off their first loadout, or if the free loadout dropped a bit sooner, they could have grabbed both their loadouts and then grabbed Ghost.
Yep.
That they would be in a position that as well, they may not find guns on the ground that they're comfortable with, but they might be comfortable with their loadout guns.
But what if their loadout gun is a M13 with the shortest barrel, no stock?
Is that Raiden's?
Well, I mean, they probably deserve to die anyway at that point.
Yeah, then that person's in RevoSec, then he's gonna squad wipe me. Actually, yeah, it's an M13. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, there are interesting points both ways. I don't know. I think the biggest issue though, because there is an interesting argument. Would you rather be the better team if both teams have ground loot, or would you rather be the better team if both teams have loadout? I think there are interesting arguments on both sides, honestly. But I think overall that is a less important consideration than we need to remove the asymmetry of one team having loadout and one team not. I think that's the way bigger issue, the way more important one. And that's why I like this change, albeit the loadout comes in too late for my blood. That's kind of what I would say. So we got time for 2 more topics. I want to get to Tanner's other one, and then we can close out with another one from our queen here. Tanner asked, Vanguard Royale versus Battle Royale. Raise your hand if you like Vanguard Royale better than regular BR. You've got Lag and Mullet. Okay, only 2 people. And half L. Okay, Lag, why do you like Vanguard Royale better?
New guns. Royale. Sorry, I like Vanguard Royale.
Okay, and Leia, got it. Okay.
New guns. I'm so tired of people using 3-year-old guns that are good. Bullet velocity is a lot better. You just kill so much faster than Vanguard guns. Like Vanguard guns, I have time to actually turn on them. I was using an XM4 today, and it is just beaming kids. It is just so easy to use. Lack of recoil is, again, it's just, I'm sick and tired of those guns. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, and don't forget also, Lag, and I play with you a lot, so I know this. You like Vanguard Royale better, maybe for that reason, sure, but also because you love to be in planes. Is that correct?
I die every time I fly one, so no.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Mullet, what about you? Why do you like Vanguard Royale better?
The guns, the planes are annoying, but it's whatever. You can hope that they just don't dive bomb you and you're fine. I also like that the vehicles just suck other than the planes, so that everybody's actually running around.
That's a hot
and
take. That's a spicy red hot take.
I don't care. Sorry, stay out of a car, dude. We're running around here.
Holy shit!
Like in my perfect world, it would be Vanguard boots on the ground Warzone.
Oh, no vehicles on the ground war, huh? Wow.
No planes, no vehicles. We're just running around the island with guns shooting each other.
And I'm over here saying we need 5 more helicopter spawns on the map.
I think that's the hottest take tonight or today is that they're not liking vehicles. Wow. Okay, interesting. There's some merit there. Yeah, you have to be way smarter with your rotates if you can't use a helicopter as a crutch. Sure.
Yeah, it's BR. It should be chess, not checkers. Like you should plan out like what you're doing. Like L saying how he hates how his loadout is 600 meters away. Well, drop in the fucking circle, bud. And guess what? Your loadout will be right down the street from you.
L, you're dog shit, L. Yeah, true.
Got it.
L's terrible. Doesn't have a brain. Leia, why do you like Vanguard Royale better?
You know, I like the reasons that Lag and Jimbo stated as well, but I'll add to that I feel like the reduction of the vehicles, the reduction of the guns that you're so comfortable with, evens the playing field for someone who may not be a total demon. It makes it a little bit more even, and then also there are additional events. So I think there's like fire sales and other things that happen that just make it a little bit easier for me to get some extra money, get a free self revive, etc., etc. And those things are guaranteed, I think, in Vanguard Royale.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
So does that make Vanguard Royale cater to casuals more, I wonder, if you're getting all that stuff, the fire sales and everything?
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah,
I guess that would be true,
it's
probably.
Catering to less experienced players because they don't have, maybe they just bought Vanguard, or maybe they're just starting and they don't have all those M-dub guns leveled up in Damascus. I mean, it gives them an opportunity to use guns that they're ready for and not have to compete against a Swiss or a Car 98.
I think there's some merit to that, yeah. And that's actually a good point. I forgot about that. But in Vanguard Royale 2, it is way easier to regain because of the fire sale. And then like everyone has a self-res. Yeah, there's something to that for sure. I think maybe that also probably makes it a better transition to like regular BR. So it's more forgiving, I think, in general. There's something to that. Yeah. Like the only reason I like Vanguard Royale better than I don't like Vanguard Royale better than regular BR. The only thing I like better about it than regular BR is that you can only use Vanguard guns, because I am sick and fucking tired of dying to a Modern Warfare car. Stop. It's a 3-year-old gun. You're fucking cringe.
Or a Swiss.
Or a Swiss. Yeah, a Swiss too. It's just embarrassing. I mean, what are we doing? It's so cringe. It's embarrassing. It's sad. It's pathetic. Experience new things. Be an adult. I don't know. Use Vanguard.
Well, make the Vanguard snipers viable then. The Vanguard snipers are stock shit.
Well, I'm not a developer, L. So I can't do that. I'd love to do that, but I can't. So
I wouldn't use the car if the Vanguard sniper was decent, somewhat decent.
Yeah,
they're not actually that bad though.
They're not. The 3-line's good.
Yeah,
the car's pretty good as well.
The car was fucking last night for me.
I want to try that.
Yeah, but it takes 20 minutes of foreplay to get that thing up to your face. ADS is so long.
No.
Yeah, but that's because you're
setting it up wrong. They can be
you're just fast. Thinking as well that it's going to ADS as quick as a M-dub car, which is just that gun probably ADS way too quick. But
true.
It ADS is as quick as it probably ADS is as quick as an AR, which is backwards really. It's meant to be a marksman rifle, which really shouldn't ADS as quick as that.
Yeah.
I guess if you're a quick scoper, then cool.
There's literally only play fucking ground war, you peasant. That's my position. Yeah. But anyways, go ahead, Tanner. Sorry.
There's really only 2 things I don't like about Vanguard Royale, and one of them doesn't matter. It's one, the vehicles are dog shit, and I hate not having mobility, and I don't like not having helicopters. It makes it play a lot slower and just more boring, in my opinion. And then the other thing is not having access to snapshots, which doesn't matter that much, but I really like them on this map. That I could just easily get over, but the vehicles alone ruin it for me. That's the only reason I don't play it, actually, because the vehicles are so bad.
Yeah. Solos on Vanguard Royale is awful. Just awful.
Yeah.
Solos are awful. Yeah, I would imagine.
Solos is fun, but Vanguard is like...
After a few shots.
You can't get around the map at all.
Okay. All right. Leia, you have, again, a list of topics. What would you like us to close this thing out on?
Oh, wow. Let's talk about...
I've got 1, 2.
Let's talk about strategy. Let's talk about strategy for wins on Caldera. What's everyone's strategy? And we can keep it short, but What's your favorite strategy?
Let's start with, is the strategy to winning on Caldera any different than the strategy was on Verdansk? Raise your hand if you think it is.
No.
No.
No, interesting. Okay, Leia, you do think it's a little different. Tell us.
Well, I was of course a recon rat before, and I would do recons left and right. I would find the center circle. I would find the best positioning to push myself in there. That was how I got my wins. On this map, I can't do that anymore because recons are visible to everybody. As soon as I do a recon, I know where it is. Now I can switch that up. I can rotate. I can use all other strategies that I have. I can still be a rat, and I can rotate in slowly with the gas. I can pinwheel. I can do all kinds of things, and I can do a recon towards the end of the circle. I can do a recon at right when I know where the center circle is going to be. I don't really know where I am. I might be able to do one then, but I cannot do 5 recons in a row and find the center circle. It's just impossible. I'll get pushed and I will die.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that is, I have to change my game plan. I have to really think about positioning and movement.
That makes sense for sure. Because a lot of recons in Verdansk, you'd have to cap them in a building. But on Caldera, a lot of them, you have to cap them outside.
Exactly.
And everyone will see where it is. So if they just look at you, you're kind of fucked. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah. What's the strategy for winning games, Lag? Assuming you care about winning games, which many people here don't.
Well, we just played 4 games and won 3 of them in a row.
Okay, good.
We start off by slaying out. If no one's on PR pace, then we just play smart.
What does PR pace mean? Explain that.
Let's say if someone's
personal record, right?
Yeah, someone's having a good game, personal record. Like you're at say 20 kills with 50 up, then we pushed everything. But like our second game, we had 30 people, third circle. So we're just like, hey, we're not on PR pace. Let's just rotate, play smart.
We might eliminate as well focus to trying to win now. I see.
And that's what we did.
Yeah, gotcha. Best strategy for winning, Cameron?
Usually I like to land hot, get as many kills off the rip as possible. Just constant UAVs, popping UAVs, finding people, just basically killing as many people as possible. And then, usually it gets to a certain point, maybe 5th zone or whatever, you'll sort of maybe start to play for the win. Or if you've got, if I get to a certain amount of kills where I'm like, you know what, I'm quite happy with this, I'm gonna pick up some more kills anyway if I'm going for the win at this point. Now that I can just sort of focus on winning the game, because it's satisfying to get a lot of kills, but at the same time, even if you get loads of kills and you don't win the game, you're like still like on a downer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
true.
Totally.
Based. Real. Cope, how do you win games in Caldera?
I don't know. Don't die.
Sit in the bush.
Got it.
Well, I'm kind of the opposite of Cam, where it's like, if I have a sick game and I have 20, 25 kills, whatever it is, and it's like, if we come 5th, I don't fucking care.
Oh, fuck winning, yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean,
you guys are so embarrassing, man.
Fuck winning.
I mean,
don't care about
it's always cool to win, and everyone likes winning, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't care about it as much as like, if we all have like 15, 20, 25 kills and we come 2nd or 3rd, don't care.
5 kills and a dub is cringe to me.
Yeah, that's so boring. I'd do anything else other than get 5 kills and a win. I'm bored.
But getting 30 kills and not winning the game is like, you weren't.
I'm happy with it.
Happy.
I'm not because
just like Jake
as well. Like for me as well. Like I'm chasing like content at the same time. Do you know what I mean? And like it always looks better if you win the game.
But that's totally different though too. Like you're trying to win for content.
I still want to win the game. Like
I agree.
I don't join a game to lose it. Do you know what I mean? Like regardless of how many kills I get, I still want to win.
Yeah. And as I've
you still
always
want to
said,
win. You still want to win, yeah.
It's not like I don't want to win. I'm just saying like if I had to choose 30 kills in 5th place over 5 kills in 1st, I would never have a win ever. Yeah. I wouldn't care. It would not.
Why can't you do both?
No, obviously, yeah, I agree, Cam. Obviously, I want to get 30 kills and win. That's what I want to do. but I'm not
He prefers the
heartbroken.
kills.
Yeah, because winning to me, like now, it doesn't. It's just like, okay, we won, cool. It doesn't give me like an adrenaline rush or anything. But if I have 30 kills and I've been fighting all fucking game, I'm just fired up about it and don't care if I win. Obviously, I want to win, but I'm not gonna get 10 less kills a game just to say we won. I personally,
you're not going to start
I
playing
don't
slower.
care. Yeah, I'm not.
What
I mean,
about
if
you,
you've
Bullet?
got
How do you win games?
Planning ahead.
Tell me more.
So basically, you're like, generally you're like, okay, well, I don't know where the circle's going because I don't do recon. So if it goes up this way, okay, we're going to rotate this way to high ground. If it rotates down this way, we're going to go down this way because we know there's a team in random XY coordinate. Just like having like an idea of what you're going to do before just all of a sudden, oh, now we know where the zone is, and just making some random decision that's going to get you killed.
Even if it's dumb. Yeah. And the satisfaction in Warzone for you is outsmarting the competition and then getting in that amphibious vehicle at the end and then getting dapped up.
In the ship, as Al calls it.
My favorite part of all of Warzone on Caldera is when I'm in that amphibious vehicle and I get dapped up because I'm in the passenger seat by my teammate, dude. I just get dapped the fuck up. And as the team captain, I'm often the one being dapped upon. So that's my most satisfying thing. So Mullet and I think are kindred spirits here. El, how do you win in Warzone on Caldera?
Play smart, positioning, get intel on where the circle's going, play boring.
Recons. That's a good way
do
to get
recons,
intel, right?
play boring. That's how you win.
Okay. Got it.
I'll say what Jake said in chat though. It's not everyone can get a win, not everyone can get 25 kills. So
okay.
I prefer that way more.
That's a fair point. I think there's definitely something to that. That is obviously true. As I've always said, Jake stole my quote. Everyone can win, but not everyone can get 25 kills. I think that's fair. I think there's something to be said about that. Leia, how do you win in Warzone?
Well, of course, I'm a lot different than these lovely gentlemen here. I'm a complete rat. So I like to ghost off the rip. I like to rotate smart. I like to play the gas if I need to. I like to move from cover to cover. I like to always think about my positioning, where I'm at, if someone's going to shoot me, what I'm going to do at that moment. And just always be very slow and very conscientious of how I'm moving. I only take smart fights. I only take fights if I absolutely have to, and I try to get to that very last position where I can just kill Cope with his 25 kills and make him cry over there as he's like, oh, I should have won this game and I've got 2 kills and I'm just gonna fucking shit on you from the hill as you fought that whole team in that building downhill and get shit on. You know, that's how I like to win.
Pissed, shitted, and farted on. Yeah, Cope, let me ask you this, because this has happened to all of us, I think. Doesn't it piss you off when you're on a burner, you have whatever, 22 kills, and then there's one other team left, they kill you, and then you look at their kills and they have 3 kills combined as a team? Doesn't that piss you off?
It hurts.
I mean, it pisses me off, but it's just like the whole time that you were sitting there doing nothing, bored out of your mind, looking at all the bushes in fucking Caldera, I was killing people, having fun. It pisses me off.
Bored.
I wasn't bored. I was thinking about how I'm going to rotate.
Anybody in 20 minutes.
Come on,
That's
man.
not true. That's not true.
Mansplaining.
No, it's just, I mean, and if you're not bored, that's fucking great for you. I mean, everyone plays the game to have fun. So play it the way you think is fun and the way you want to play it. I don't care. Yeah, it will piss me off, but the last 25 minutes when I've been nonstop fighting and driving at kids and killing them and having fun, that is what I enjoy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, what are you playing for? Playing to win.
Yeah, what are you playing to win?
I'll admit that
If you really want to know, if you really want to know how to win, go watch the latest custom tournament with all the streamers. There was no incentive for kills; it was only winning.
And they
Watch
were all
that.
rats. They were all rats.
Yep.
Let me guarantee
Watch
you.
that. That very good
They were
strategy
all
on
like
what they
me.
did.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a good point.
And you know what it is? It's boring to watch 95% of the game, and the exciting part is when zone is 3 feet by 3 feet and they're all fighting. That's
There's
what's fun.
50 people up, and the zone is the size of a fucking Q-tip.
That's what everyone watches it for. No one watches it for the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
If all you do is like gunfighting, then why don't you play multiplayer?
Because there's nothing at stake.
But if you don't care about wins, what's at stake?
Beating my PR, having a teammate.
Didn't you do that on multiplayer?
Well, it's just boring. I don't know. You respawn.
There is a
instantly.
difference because you can respawn. It's a respawn mode.
Yeah, that's the
think-
biggest difference.
And that's
Yeah,
why
think
I
so
don't
too.
personally like Rebirth, because it's just like, I mean, I have fun playing it once in a while. It's like a nice change of pace, but it's like there's nothing at stake. It's like if you die, then you just respawn. I don't know.
That's fair.
That's fair.
But that's like part of it as well. Unless I'm beating my PR, like if I'm beating my PR and then I die, cool, I beat my PR. But unless I'm beating my PR, I still want to win the game, even if I've got X amount of kills. Do you know what I mean? Like it's still, it's dissatisfying when you go through the whole game, you kill majority of the people in the lobby, and then you lose.
Yeah, I agree. Tanner, how do you win games in Caldera on the island?
Yeah, I think it's pretty... I don't know. I haven't found any tricks to it so far other than the obvious of keeping high ground. I mean, that's the biggest thing you could do. Another thing is, since you always have so much money, buying self-revive is key. And we've been slacking on that last few times we played. I've noticed that. And it's been getting me killed all the time. Because in this map, there's so many instances, I feel, where you can self. Because like they'll
such
be
a good point.
above you looking down, I'll be behind a rock, get down, and I'll have to just sit there, jerk myself off while you guys are fighting, and then you all get down, and then we're squad wiped. Instead of me, being an easy spot to res, because they just don't have an angle on me from where they're looking or something. So that's the biggest thing. Always be holding a UAV if you can. Again, money everywhere. And I think it's good for one person on the squad to have a precision airstrike. Again, on this map, not even for getting kills, but because you're all in the open, you're not moving from building to building, you can use an airstrike because they're up on this hill. I did this in customs last night. We were getting sniped at. We were in the open. I had a cluster at the time. Works the same as an airstrike. Aimed that sucker right at the hill, called it in. I said, all right, let's go. Sure enough, they all run off the hill, and then we easily make the cross because we don't have 3 snipers looking at us. And I think that can just, more than get you kills, that's going to extend your life longer and just protect your team as a whole. So those are kind of my thoughts. But yeah, I mean, winning's great, obviously. But yeah, if I had to pick between getting 20 kills in second place or getting 5 kills in first place, every single time, without a doubt, I'd take second place. Give me that second place trophy, man.
Yep.
Got it. So, okay.
Winning.
A lot of interesting, fun, and exciting opinions voiced here. So, on the topic of how do you win in Caldera, yeah, I think, like Leia said, it is harder to do like the recon strat on this map than it was in Verdansk, without a doubt. Because there are fewer buildings, and in Verdansk, you could do a recon strat, and every single recon capping point is in a building. And if you're playing 4s and you're all sitting in the same building, you're not... If you get pushed, you're going to be super heavily favored, and you have cover from people far away. Whereas on Caldera, most of the time, you're capping a recon point. You're fucking outside. And if you start getting... If someone's above you especially, because you don't get to choose where that cap point is. So if it's in a dog shit spot right under... For example, if it's in the pit, oops. I mean, what are you going to do? Go sit in there like an asshole, send a flare, hey guys, we're all in the pit, come fuck our ass. It's much harder. It's much harder to do recon strat on this map, I think. So, is that the most effective way to win? I don't know. Maybe if you're really good at doing recon strat, it still is, and there are ways to do it. But every recon strat streamer that I am familiar with, like Iron, stopped doing recon strat. He doesn't do them anymore. So he's just playing like regular BR. So if he wanted to do recons, would that be the best way for him now as someone who's really good at that? I don't know. Like, I actually have no idea. But I know that it's at least harder than it used to be. So I think I'm kind of with Mullet actually on the best way to win is like rotate early, get in zone, and rotate smart. Because if you rotate early, you have time to rotate smart. If you're rotating late, you can't rotate smart most of the time because you won't have the time to go any route other than straight A to B in. And then you'll get fucked. So I think just, yeah, like rotating early, rotating smart, and getting high ground as often as you possibly can. And like Tanner said too, buying self-reses. You have infinite money. Money's fake, especially money's fake in real life, ! Donate. It's also fake in Caldera, especially because there's infinite money everywhere. You can all have a self-res and you should. And there are a lot of opportunities to get a self off that didn't happen as often in Verdansk. Because in Verdansk, you might say, well, there's a bunch of buildings. If you get downed in a building, you can just bang that sucker. But the thing is, if you got downed in a building in Verdansk, the reason you did is because they're in the room with you. They're going to fool you. Now, you could get way more self-reses off in Verdansk if you were on a rooftop. I'll grant you that. So maybe it's not like you can get more on Caldera than you could in Verdansk. I think it might even be a wash because you could get infinite amounts on a rooftop in Verdansk. But still, you can get a lot off, and since you have more money now, get them for sure. So but mainly, I think it's Mullet's point, like rotate early, and then on the tangential point of what's better, winning or kills, Cope made the only salient point on this topic, which is you play video games to have fun. So whatever the fuck you think is fun in Warzone besides cheating, you should do. If you get more satisfaction out of winning, go win. If you get more satisfaction out of getting a fuck ton of kills, go get a fuck ton of kills. But there's also this underlying implicit assumption that the Chads here have, which I take umbrage with, which is that if you only like winning, you're like dog shit at the game. There are absolutely players who don't agree with you who are extremely good. Iron is an excellent example. He doesn't give a fuck about getting kills. He's deeply satisfied with winning a game of Warzone with literally 2 kills. He's also extremely skilled at gunfighting. Like, he's really, really good.
He also looks bored out of his mind when he plays, though. So I don't
He's
know
not
if he's
bored
actually
out of his
having
mind,
fun.
though, man. Maybe he
I've never
looks
once even
bored.
seen him crack a small smile when he gotten a win. So I wouldn't say he has fun winning.
He's a serious guy. He's a serious guy, but there's nothing wrong with that. And he still has fun playing for wins, even though he's really skilled, because if he didn't, he wouldn't play for wins. So, like,
And
OP
he wouldn't
Marked
do
is
a
another one.
14-hour stream.
Oh, he does 30-hour streams. He's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's other reasons.
he has a
Then look
very
at
high
Huskers.
dosage of Adderall in his prescription. He must, right? But that's fine. Good for you. But like OP Mark's another example. A demon, really talented, really deeply talented at gunfighting and getting kills if he wanted to. But he prefers to get wins, and he enjoys that as well. So I just want everyone who's like a kill whore, Huskers, tier 3 sub. Huskers is great too, and if that's what you're into, you should do that, like Cope said, and that's the fun thing. But let's not look down on people who derive more satisfaction from getting wins than they do from getting a fuck ton of kills. And then you might argue, well, the only reason they think that is because they can't get a fuck ton of kills, so they say they only like getting wins. There's probably some truth to that in some cases. I will grant that too. But still, let people have fun. That's the thing. It's a goddamn video game. If you have fun fucking putting stun grenade underbarrels on your M4 and making TikToks, go do it.
No, stop.
Well, don't stun people.
No.
Yeah, I take that back. That's
No,
immoral.
yeah, stop.
But most things you can do in Warzone that are not cheating, if you have fun doing it, that's what you should do, because it's a fucking video game. So that's, yeah, I think that's the most important point here. So
Love that.
Like you were saying, Huskers, though, I don't think he doesn't look like he's having fun though most of the time, and he's getting lots of kills. So
yeah, of course, yeah, he doesn't. I don't know if he's capable of fun. Can he have fun?
Well, isn't that what is that one saying that you either like a game or you're good at it? You You either have fun or you're good at the game. It's something like that.
Point.
That's what it is.
funny.
Yeah, no, they're never happy. None of them are. Yeah,
they're. I mean, they're on the cliff every waking moment of their day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's it. Let's say our goodbyes. Lag, we'll start with you, buddy. Closing thoughts, and where can people find you if you want to do that?
Like I said, you can find me at Lag Show, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome, buddy. Cam.
Yeah, Cam Wilkes on Twitch, YouTube. Appreciate you guys having me. Excellent pod, I think, again. Yeah.
Award winning, they say.
Award winning.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
The committee has sent me an email. I haven't read it yet. Okay, thank you, Cam.
Appreciate you guys.
Twitch, Cope Cowboy, Twitter, Cope Cowboy. Absolutely not. Thank you for having me.
Got it.
And yeah, that's everything.
Yeah, he was mad that we actually
you summoned me.
We literally summoned Cope. He didn't want to be on, and I said, Cope, I don't care. You don't like Caldera. We need that opinion. Get on. So he said, he said, got
okay.
it. He said, quote, got it. Like a real team player. So thanks, Cope. Mullet.
You can't really find me anywhere. I have no social media.
You can find him at his day job where he's gainfully employed. That's where you can find Mullet.
Yeah, we're on the weekends at the barbecue shop.
Got it.
Dallas.
Nice.
Smoking meats.
Yep.
All right. L.
Just twitch.tv, Lavoxino, LAVOXENO.
Leia.
You can find me on Twitch, praying_mantis_princess. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok.
Got it. Tanner.
Patreon.com/thedropshot or thedropshot.com/store is the two places to find me.
Yeah. It's either /store or /shop, but you guys will
I think
figure
both
it
of
out.
them work.
Okay, great. And because we have a professional website, of course they both work. Yeah, that's of course true. Yeah, Razinon, it was great. Thanks for inviting me on, Razinon. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. This was the committee. I've read the email. Has in fact deemed this an award-winning episode of the broadcast. And you can, of course, find me at patreon.com/thedropshot or in my Twitch chat at !donate. You can find me at both of those locations. For real, thank you all for being here. This was a lot of fun. This was everything I hoped for. I hope you guys had fun as well, and I appreciate you taking the 3 hours out of your otherwise gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Unless you live somewhere dog shit like Canada, it's probably terrible outside, but it always is. So I don't really feel bad for summoning you. And I stand by that statement. But for real, thank you all for being here. We had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. And for the listeners, go check out the people who plugged their stream. Give them some love. Gift them some subs, but gift us more. And say thanks. And also, we are deeply curious about your guys' feedback. I really like getting the feedback on these roundtables, and it's even more important for these two because these people have never had an audience of thousands of people in their fucking lives, right? Yeah. Because we're broadcasting sensations, and they've been brought on stage, as it were, and they're welcome. So they are going to want feedback from you guys about their opinions as well. So if like Mullet made a really good point, let them know in Discord. Give us some feedback and say, hey, Mullet, I liked that, man. I was glad you were on. Or you could be like, hey, Cope, you said this thing and you're a fucking idiot. He would hate that, and I want that to happen because it would make me smile. So go into the join the fucking Discord, go to the feedback channel, and give him that feedback too. Any and all feedback we welcome, we love, and we appreciate. So otherwise, boys and girls, that is it. Patreon.com/thedropshot is the best way to support the show. 5 bonus episodes a month. Thedropshot.com. We've got a merch store. We have new merch coming soon, possibly. And don't forget, January 29th at a time, which we were supposed to decide, but we haven't. You'll figure it out. Just take the whole day off. We are doing a 2-year celebration anniversary broadcast, and you need to be here live because we have extra goodies for those of you who are here live. Go to thedropshot.com/live on January 29th. Follow our Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. We will be announcing the time there prior to the 29th. so you can mark it in your little Google calendars or on your actual physical calendar if you are geriatric, as many of you, of course, are. You can do it that way as well. So other than that, boys and girls, thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Simple.